looking forward to that. I am a little bit distracted because we have just been sent through something quite interesting, but unfortunately I can't see it. I can't see what it actually says, so or what it's actually about. So it is, well, I can see what it's about. It's about Velveteen Dream, but it's a video. So the video is of the Velveteen Dream responding to accusations that were against him. I mean, this looks quite interesting. I really want to see what it says, but it's like a 3-minute video. Let me click on Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream just outright admitted that he and a bunch of NXT wrestlers were doing cocaine whilst on the roster. Word what always was, he was quietly suspended for it whilst he was there. I've been working on a WWE... This is Sean Rossap, by the way. WWE not considering hiring Velveteen Dream select post, but it's now a no bleep Sherlock thing. I'll probably start that back up again. So there's a video doing the rounds on social media where he responds to EC3. We actually spoke about this, but I can't remember on what stream it is. Wow, this looks like quite a big thing. I haven't actually seen this yet. Velveteen Dream fires back at EC3, calling him an a-hole, and said cocaine is a hell of a drug. Get your stuff together, basically. Let me just read. I really want to read this article. I desperately want to see what he said. Here we go. Let me explain some. First of all, to everyone who has sent their well wishes and respect towards me, I just want to say thank you because I love you all and I appreciate you all and the support means the world to me. Let me tell you this. I'm going to try to help out my old man out on a computer and just type in WWE. Tell me why the first thing I see is ECW has talked to Dirt Sheets. I guess since I'm on TMZ now, I'm somebody again. EC3 has gone to the Dirt Sheet saying that if you haven't seen it, he had a party. It was about 2017, 2018. I'm not going to tell people who was at this party for respect, but one of our mutual friends is a former NXT talent, no longer works for WWE, and the person is a current Monday Night Raw talent who used to wrestle for NXT. So, okay, Mike, EC3, you go out here after I gave you the best match you've ever had in your career. You go out here. I'm tired of people throwing dirt at my name. You throw this dirt on my name saying that I tried to record you in the bathroom. This is true, by the way. Well, I don't know that it's true, but it is true that EC3 has said this. He said that he had a house party. He went into the bathroom and there was a phone in there that was recording. And he left it and he believes it was Velveteen Dream's phone. Let's be honest, Mike, you're leaving out a lot of details. What were we doing that night, Mike? What type of powder was on the table, Mike? Let's be real, so let's not leave out the details. We were all drunk. You were drunk because you were in your place. You damn near passed out. You and your homegirl, whatever chick you were seeing at the time, and the other two people, our mutual friends, were there. I left my phone in the bathroom on the counter, and because you were not sure of my sexuality at the time, because of the character that I play on TV, and because we're not friends in real life, you accuse me of recording in your own home. I went to a mutual friend who no longer works for WWE, a former NXT talent, and I showed him my phone and had him go through my photos and videos. And I recently deleted just to prove to you. How do you do that? How can you show what you've recently deleted? To prove to you and other people that were there, because I respect him and his job. I'm not going to put his name out there. I had to prove to you I was not recording. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, EC3. Get your stuff together. And if anyone wants to go through my friend list right now and check out who follows me, because I'm not followed by him, EC3 is a follower of mine, I would really think that if you brought that much of me, thought that much of me, that you couldn't trust me, you definitely wouldn't be following me on social media. Okay, so he's saying he is following him. You go to my friends list, check who's following me. I'm not following him, but EC3 is a follower of mine, right? You're pathetic. Now control your narrative, you a-hole. That's a great line, in all fairness. How the hell you turn this stuff off? Wow, he goes off, doesn't he? I mean, I don't know if that is all 3 minutes of what he says, basically, but I must admit, there's a lot about that I really don't like. There's a lot about that doesn't sit quite right with me. I mean, first of all, how do you show people your deleted pictures on your phone? Like, I don't know how you do that. Maybe you can do that, but if you delete stuff on your phone, I'm not aware of a way of showing people the pictures that you've deleted. If he has shown, first of all, right, if he's grabbed someone's phone and I'm sure he made the claim that it was recording, you wouldn't just surely say the phone is recording, would you, if it wasn't recording? I mean, surely if you grab someone's phone, you can see if it's recording or not. So I don't really understand. First of all, that's a sticking point. Like, was the phone recording? Was it not recording? I was under the impression from what I'd heard that it was recording, whereas now Velveteen Dream is saying, no, he just left his phone. I mean, again, maybe a bit strange with the way that it's set up. I mean, I'm guessing that the camera is in a certain position whereby, you can film whatever it was that he was thinking of filming or allegedly thinking of filming. So, I don't know, there's some weird stuff going on with that. And then, like, this idea that he's shown people his deleted stuff, which I don't know that you can do, but maybe you can. Maybe you can do it on certain phones. Maybe you could do it on this phone, and I just don't know how you do that. But, yeah, that's also a bit weird. I don't know. This feels like Velveteen maybe coming out, trying to defend himself, but it has kind of resulted in a few more questions. I don't think it's really answered anything and everything. But it was funny because I only got asked the other day, do you think there's a chance that Velveteen Dream could come back? And answer to that is going to be a resounding no, isn't it? So, yeah. Sorry to start with that, but literally I saw it just before we went live, and I can see that Velveteen Dream is actually trending right now. So Velveteen Dream is trending. So it does just make sense to take a moment just to have a look and see what the flip this news actually is. So there we go. Fairly interesting, but it leaves us probably with more questions than answers. Luke said, Money Mayweather against Deji has now been confirmed. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. It'll be a big fight, though, and we'll definitely look to do it. Have they said when it is? Have they said when the fight's taking place? Is it this year? Because we will try and squeeze that in. That kind of is a natural development. Well, not really a natural development, but it is a step from the KSI event that we did recently. And obviously, Deji was on that card. So we would look to do that. Days, did you see Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi reunited? I did, yes. They were over in Japan. I mean, Kenny is suspended at the moment. I don't know that there's really any more than that. But nice, it's cool to see them back together and the Golden Lovers. So, yeah, that was cool. That was a nice, heartwarming social media post. And there's not loads of those doing the rounds at the moment. The Deji fight hasn't been confirmed, says Just Nick. Okay. Who will win, Jake Paul or Anderson Silva? I think that Jake Paul would only take this fight and his team would only allow him to take this fight if he was ready for the fight. So I think that Anderson Silva has always been a fantastic striker. There is a difference between being a striker and being a boxer. Being able to throw hands and like get shots through whilst having to worry about being kicked, being taken down. The stance in the footwork is very different in MMA as it is to boxing. These are all things that are going to play in Jake's favor, but there's no denying, because of the recent wins that Anderson Silva has enjoyed, that he has got a very, very good boxing knowledge and he has got a very, very good boxing foundation. He's been doing boxing his whole life. It's just that you use it a slightly different way in MMA. So It's a very difficult one. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, Jake Paul's most difficult fight, without a shadow of a doubt. But you can put quite a few things in the column against Anderson Silva in this fight. I mean, I'm going to be straight up honest. Anderson Silva is one of my favorite MMA fighters. And if he loses to Jake Paul, it is going to sting. Like, it is going to sting because Anderson Silva is like a goat of MMA. He is not, for many of you that don't watch MMA, Anderson Silva is, I don't even know who you'd compare him to. I mean, he's right up there. He's a Roman Reigns. He's a, I don't know that he had the attitude of a John Cena or the charisma of a Rock, but he is like one of the biggest names in MMA. If you was doing a UFC Mount Rushmore, there is a really, really good chance that you are putting Anderson Silva's face onto that Mount Rushmore. He is almost as high as it gets, if not as high as it gets. Some people would say Khabib. Some people would say maybe Conor because of what Conor did. But Conor had big fights and won some big fights, but he lost some big fights as well. He's got a bit of a patchy record, but early Conor was amazing. More recent Conor has really fallen off. But kind of actually, you could say the same for Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva, when he lost the middleweight title, really fell off, but doesn't matter. He's one of my favorites, an amazing fighter, an amazing striker, but he's not a boxer. He has done boxing, a few boxing fights, but he's not a boxer. And he's in the wrong side of his career. I mean, he's like 47, so he's old. He's a MMA fighter, not a boxer, but he has done boxing and he has won some really big boxing fights. He's also like the people he's been going up against have been like older champions and people like that. I mean, he's got some good wins, but against the youth, the hunger, the, dare I say, even power of Jake Paul. I mean, Jake Paul knocked out Tyron Woodley. He's definitely bringing things into this fight. Definitely bringing things, even though his fundamentals don't look to be the sharpest. I'm sure they've improved because he's young and he's training all the time. I mean, this is everything to Jake Paul. This is not everything to Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva's already had his career. So you've got to think Jake Paul is going to be dialed in to like 11. Do you know what I mean? He's turning it right up. He's going to 11. Whereas, is Anderson Silva going to give that level of commitment? He loves training. He loves fighting. But is he going to be turning this up to 11? Is this everything for Anderson Silva? I don't think it is. I think this is just like Anderson's had his career. Now he's just having a few fun fights just to kind of wrap it all up. He doesn't want to embarrass himself, but I don't know. I must admit, the closer we're getting, the more nervous I'm getting, and I'm thinking Jake Paul by decision. I can't see him. The head movement of Anderson is too good. So I'm thinking Jake Paul by decision. I don't think he's going to be able to catch Anderson like he did Tyron Woodley. Anderson, I think, will get shots through, but I don't know that he's got necessarily the power to, hurt Jake or put Jake down. I can see him peppering Jake and getting some shots through, but I've got to think that Jake's at a good point in his career now where it's a good few years in. He trains with world champions. He's clearly got a lot of confidence. I'm thinking decision. Daniel said, John Jones, GSP, Mighty Mouse, Anderson Silva, Khabib would be my top 5. Mighty Mouse doesn't get the respect he deserves. UFC tried to get rid of the division because of how dominant he was. That's very true. That's very, very true. And actually, it's been really heartwarming in a way to see the respect that he's been getting now, maybe more so from the MMA community. But there was that trade, wasn't there, where Mighty Mouse went to 1 and Ben Askren came to UFC. And obviously, Mighty Mouse Demetrius Johnson has just gone on to win the championship there, and he's looking fantastic. And Ben Askren just did not work out in UFC at all. One of the fastest knockouts of all time. He got knocked out with a knee from Masvidal. And then, of course, just to rub salt in the wound, got knocked out by Jake Paul as well. So Yeah, I mean, not a great swap, you would have to say. Not a great swap at all. But yeah, I don't mind that top 5 at all. I don't mind it at all. Wrestle with Andy said, Days, to me, Anderson Silva is Undertaker. He had the streak and the same magical presence. I can definitely go with that. I can go with that. I mean, I think if you say Undertaker, people are going to start thinking about a darkness. They're going to start thinking about, like, the entrance. They're going to start thinking about, him looking half dead and jackets and all this. If you take that away and just focus, as you say, on the streak and like this air of unbeatability, this air of, like, at points we were asking, is this guy even human? Is he even human? Can you even beat him? He is so fluid. I mean, like, literally the closest I think we could get to a modern day Bruce Lee, in the sense of, like, so fluid and just so dialed into martial arts and just so ahead of everyone else. I know that this isn't an MMA stream, but for those, again, that don't watch MMA, he's, I believe, still got the record for the most title defenses. And when he finally did lose his title, it's because he was showboating. He had his hands down, he had his chin out. He was so ahead of everyone that he was just showboating, and he got caught. He got clipped. He got cracked on the chin by Chris Weidman, and he went down. And that's it. He went down, lost his title. In the rematch, breaks his leg. Freak accident, goes for a kick. It gets checked, and basically his leg wraps around his opponent's leg, totally breaks his leg, and he's out for quite a bit after that. Just a freak accident, one of those things that can happen. So he loses his title for showboating, freak accident in the rematch. And to be honest, he's never the same fighter after that. So, yeah, he's had a lot of injuries as well. That's another thing that goes in the column against him. A lot of injuries. Just like Undertaker. I want to bet Jake Paul will beat Anderson Silva, says Miguel. I'm not a fan of Silva, but I can respect him, says Miss Clown. Miss Clown, shout out to you. Esteban said EC3 lost all credibility when he said people were partying at his house because he was a top guy. Yeah, that's true. Chael dominated him. Chael did. But who got the dub? That's what it comes down to. I mean, that's another... he never gives up. To be losing a fight. I mean, we just saw it with Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards was losing heavily to Kamaru Usman, but Leon Edwards gets that head kick knockout against Usman, and we've got a new welterweight champion of the world. And against Chael Sonnen, Anderson Silva for 5 rounds just got absolutely dominated. Great groundwork from Chael, just really controlled the fight. It was a no-brainer as to who was winning. And then in the 4th round, late in the 4th round, I think it was, I'm trying to remember, a triangle? Is it a triangle that he had applied? I know it was a submission hold. I can picture them being both down on the ground. And he pulls out a victory. So you can never quite rule out Anderson Silva, but obviously very different in a boxing match. Miguel said, who is your favorite UFC fighter? It is Anderson Silva. I'm not making that up. I love Bisping because obviously his connections to Britain. He's British. So I love Bisping, but Anderson Silva is the one that really blew my mind. Yeah. I mean, I obviously really appreciate Conor because he brings such a show, and Conor's just so great. So yeah, Conor is obviously very special, but no, for me, Silva would be at the top. And then when it comes to the women, I would be looking at, like, I love Thug Rose, big fan of Thug Rose. And yeah, I mean, I love Nunes as well and Shevchenko, but I'd put Thug Rose. So Silva and Rose would be my top 2 for guys and girls. Miguel said, do you like Paddy Pimblett? Wow, this has now turned into an MMA stream. If you enjoy MMA, we do UFC streams every Saturday, and we have a lot of fun with those. But yeah, to answer your question, do I like Paddy? I really want to like Paddy. I like his fighting style. I like the fact that he wants to entertain the fans. I like the fact that he is obviously English, and there's actually some good English fighters coming through. But I think it doesn't matter what country you live in. I think it's always exciting when you see a fellow countryman representing. And we've only had 2 champions in UFC from England, from Britain. And the second one only happened a few weeks ago. So, like, we have been not really representing ourselves very well. So it's great to see some people coming through. Paddy, obviously, I don't know if he's leading the charge, but he's certainly one of the big names. Making waves, he's going to be a massive star. He does keep getting caught early, though. And I do think that against better opponents, he is going to get put away. So I don't know where his ceiling is. I don't know that he's going to make it to a title, for example, but I think the UFC want to get him to a title match because he's such a big draw. His weigh-in videos do like 1 million, 2 million views. So, yeah, I can see them trying to get him to a title match. Whether he actually gets there, whether he wins it, I really don't know. And I know he put out a load of like really kind of offensive tweets in the past as well. Now, you can put that down to he was young, idiot, kind of stupid thing to say kind of a thing. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know him. I don't know if he has moved on from all of that. There was some pretty... I don't like to use the racist words, but there was definitely racist tones to some tweets that he put out, and it doesn't sit very well with me. So I don't know. It's really, really difficult. The jury is still out. I mean, he's just got to keep winning fights, show himself to be a good person, and then people will be on board with him. But the jury is out, unfortunately, at the moment. Is it a decent card tonight? To be honest, mate, I was a bit distracted by that Velveteen Dream thing. And so I was in the process of looking. I know that we've got the championship semifinals. And also, by the way, a couple of things. If you do watch the channel on a bit of a regular basis, you might have seen the review last night. I didn't know, and it's always going to be a bit of a problem, to be honest. I didn't know that the sound was out of sync with the video. Now, that's nothing that you guys could do because obviously when we start, I just go straight into the review. And unless I actually start each stream by going, guys, can you just let me know if the audio's in, which I really don't want to do. So I've actually, first of all, I've got a new microphone. So I'm hoping that's going to help. So if the sound sounds a little better, it's because we're using a much more expensive microphone now. So this is a different microphone. First time using it on this stream. So we've got a new microphone. And also, I have got like a stats box that shows me dropped frames and lag and all this, which I've never used before. So I'm trying to get in the habit of using that. So at the moment, it says that the stream is healthy and everything should be good. So I'm thinking everything's in sync. But yeah, that's something that I'm very, very aware of. And I'm trying to get that fixed. It's a real tricky one, though. I don't really know how you resolve it. I've watched a few videos. And I don't like what they tell me. So I need to be keeping an eye on that. So, yeah, just in case anyone did watch that review last night and it was a bit flipping annoying, I get it. It annoyed me as well. Right, here we go. All Elite Wrestling tonight we've got Jon Moxley against Sammy Guevara. We've got Jericho against Danielson. And we've got Toni Storm and Athena taking on Britt Baker and Serena Deeb. I don't know that there's anything else announced. I can see a cool FTR shirt, though. There's a nice FTR shirt. It says FTR at the top. Then it says Top Guys. And then it's got like that kind of cool retro rainbow kind of thing. It looks cool. That looks really cool. I really want them to start doing the jackets. I don't know if they ever would, but there's also a new Jericho shirt. It says Lionheart Chris Jericho. It's quite simple, but it looks nice. It's a few nice designs, actually. Yeah, to be honest, there's only those 3 matches by the looks of it. Normally, we get a lot more announced than that. But, yeah, just those 3 matches. Also, Vince McMahon is trending, so... Oh, okay. I think Vince might be trending because of NXT. Triple H has changed NXT. Vince at home watching NXT going from splatter colors to black and white, and then they've got him staring sadly into the distance. Yep. Okay, so Vince trending because of NXT last night and it being changed. In fact, I've seen some really interesting arguments about that. There's been some really interesting thoughts about NXT, and we can move into that and talk about that if people want to, or we can dial in a bit deeper into AEW. I did put a poll up asking who do people think's going to win the AEW Championship tournament. We could put that into the chat right now and see what you lot think. There was a runaway winner on Twitter, and there might be a runaway winner here. So, who wins the AEW Championship tournament? We go. So, there are 4 people still in. We've got the 2 semi-finals tonight. So, it will be one of the following. So, it's either going to be Moxley that wins. Moxley. It could be Danielson. It could be Sammy Guevara. Or it could be Chris Jericho. So Moxley, Danielson, Guevara, or Jericho. Who wins the AEW Championship Tournament semi-finals tonight? We'll see what you lot think. There is a runaway winner on Twitter. Gordon said, Days, can you answer this? Who do you see winning this just for fun? Gordon versus Aries with Bloodline in my corner and Maximum Male Models in Aries' corner. What, you against Austin Aries? Is that your question? You against Austin Aries? Gordon, I've never seen you compete, so how do I answer that? How do I answer that, mate? So you're saying that you with Bloodline or what, Austin Aries with Maximum Male Models? I mean, I would have to think. It depends if you get tagged in. No offense, but I'm feeling like you might be the weak link in the Bloodline. Are you related to the Anoa'i family, Gordon? Is it Solo Sikoa, the Usos, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, and Gordon? Is that the Anoa'i family? Please respond. Ernesto says, any chance they give Sammy the belt? Any chance they give Sammy the belt? I would say there's a chance, buds, yeah. I would say there's a chance. I think that anyone could win it, to be perfectly truthful. I think they could go back to Moxley. Moxley is clearly someone that they believe is a draw. He keeps winning either the title or the interim title, so numbers must suggest that Moxley is a credible way forwards. Danielson has never had it, right? So Danielson is one of their biggest names. He's never had it. So what the flip, right? Like, it feels like Danielson makes a lot of sense, but it only feels like it makes a lot of sense because he's never had it. And to be perfectly honest, is this the time to give it him? Because he would bring some positivity, and it would bring some intrigue, and it would be a nice moment and maybe take some of that bitter taste away from everything that's happened. So maybe it is the right moment. But I don't know. Whenever I think of Daniel Bryan and Bryan Danielson, I always think back to WrestleMania 30, and I always think back to him having to work so hard to get to the title. Seeing him win a relatively short tournament to win the title under the circumstances, I don't know if that's how you crack. I feel like Danielson winning the belt is going to happen. Is this how you do it? Maybe it is. Maybe you just need the positivity right now, and you just need to distract everyone right now, and you need a feel-good moment right now. So maybe it is the right call, right? But you could also put it onto Moxley, and it won't be as big because he's had it so much, but numbers must suggest that Moxley is a person worthy of having it, because they keep putting interim belts on or AEW titles onto him. So just something to think about. Then you've got Jericho, who's steady Eddie, man. I mean, Jericho makes a bit of sense because Jericho is someone that is reliable. He's someone that's not going to mess around whilst he's got the belt. He's someone that's credible. He's someone that is a heel. So that means that you could have a face build up to get the belt off Jericho further down the road. You've got to think about your pay-per-views further down the road. So you can put the belt on Jericho now. He's not had it for a while. Jericho with the belt would be interesting. And then you can always build up Danielson to have a match at, Full Gear and do a match at Full Gear. Will Danielson get the title there and actually, build it up that way? So, and then you've got Sammy, who I would say is probably least likely to get it, because right now, do you really want to take a gamble like Sammy? Do you really want to go with Sammy? I don't know. I don't know that the numbers say that Sammy is the right person. Certainly has never had it before, so he would be new to the main event scene. It is an opportunity to build a new star. So, and I do think he'll get it eventually. I think he is a future AEW World Champion. Do you use this situation to just try and build a new star? I mean, look, if you're on the verge of losing CM Punk, do you use this situation to kind of force a new star? Like, you've got Sammy, he's a heel. He doesn't need to do it like, a certain way. He doesn't care how he wins it. Ty Conti can even be involved, or Ty Mello, whatever you want to call her. She can even be involved and help him win the title, cheat, if you will. He gets it. People would boo and all this kind of stuff, and I don't know. I just don't know if you need that negativity right now. I don't know. I feel like Danielson is the obvious choice, right? I'm just going to be honest. I know that there's a poll, but I feel like Danielson is the one that people are leaning towards. My only thing with Danielson is, do you put the title on him for the first time like this? Or is it just, there's so much bad news, we really, really need some good news. We really need something to distract people. Let's just do it. Like, maybe it's that. Honestly, maybe it's that. So I think you could make an argument for all four of them. The final that I expect is Danielson. I think he does get through today. And then, to be perfectly honest, I would go Sammy Guevara. I think go Danielson, Guevara. Because I think it's Danielson, Jericho. So that means Jericho's out. And then it's down to, do you have Moxley or Sammy? Now, if you could put Moxley through to the final, and certainly Danielson against Moxley is very interesting. Very interesting. But I think that if you went with Danielson Guevara, I don't know that we've seen that match, Danielson Guevara. I think you've got face heel, which is always good to have a face and a heel. If it's Moxley and Danielson, you're going to split the crowd. Some will be with Danielson, some will be with Moxley. So it might be better to do face heel and have Danielson take on Guevara. And the other thing is that then you've actually got a battle of two people that have never been champion. You are guaranteed a brand new first-time champion. So I do like Danielson against Sammy. I think that's a good way to go. So if I was booking, I would be really tempted to do that. You could do Moxley, though. You could do Moxley, because Moxley-Danielson is undeniably a more eye-catching match. The only problem with that is that you are going to split the crowd. You won't split the crowd if it's Danielson, Sammy. Sammy's got some pretty good heat at the moment. So you won't split the crowd, but I think you will split the crowd if you'd go the other way. So that's my thoughts on it anyway. Days, do you see my son beating me in a singles match just for fun? If my son wins, he has to pie me in the face. Do you see that happening? Gordon, I don't know your son. I don't know your. I mean, like, if you could, Gordon, you could be 85 years old. And part of me senses that you are. And your son could be, I don't know, 25. I mean, yeah, sure, that means you had a kid when you were 60. We don't need to dwell on that, yeah? If anything, I'm pleased for you. But, in that situation, I would have to think that your son has got the advantage. I would have to. Unless you're like some kind of jiu-jitsu grandmaster that also used to be a professional boxer and you've still got some of those skills. Even then, I have to think that age is going to really play a big, big factor. It's going to play a big factor. Equally, we could be sat here, you could be 35 and your son could be 2. So it's so difficult for me to say. I feel like there's big pieces of information that's missing for me. So I'm going to have to, just without knowing anything, I'm going to have to say your son wins. I'm going to have to go with your son. So I've gone with your son. And that's based on literally nothing at all. Daniel said, whoever wins this will lose to MJF when he uses the chip. I would go Bryan. He's the face. I wouldn't want him to lose it quick to MJF. He could put on some fantastic matches with the belts. Jilly said they've no choice but to split the crowd. There's too many superstars suspended. This is the hand Tony is dealt. Trent said Austin Theory should cash in on the AEW. Oh, God, that'd be a nightmare for Tony. Imagine that. Imagine if there was nothing he could do and Austin Theory came running down and just cashed in and then took the AEW championship to WWE. Oh, that would be an absolute... He doesn't need that, in all fairness. He's already got enough going on. He doesn't need that drama as well. So, yeah, nightmare. Moxley Danielson will probably happen because of Blackpool Combat Club. Will they break up scenario, says David. It's a good point. November 13th, Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai has been confirmed. November 13th. November 13th. Let me just have a quick look. So I have actually started putting stuff in a calendar. I know, check me out. So I should be able to see what we've got coming up in regards to November. November 13th is a Sunday, and it's actually Remembrance Sunday here in the UK. So... is it, I'm guessing it's probably the 12th, and it's probably late on the 12th, which would be the same night as UFC 281. UFC 281 and the return of Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton comes back and fights in an exhibition match. So Ricky Hatton, quite a big deal here in the UK. That would have some interest. Certainly the Deji Mayweather fight would have more, but to do it the same night as UFC 281... that would be a shame. Certainly when I look at the 19th, and right now there's nothing on the 19th. So I don't know if there's any way we can get a word to them and get them to move it to the 19th. But I'm afraid the 12th just doesn't work very well for me. It doesn't work very well for me at all. That's UFC 281, which I can't remember who headlines that. Is that Poirier? UFC 281. Let's have a look. It's Adesanya. The last Stylebender. Israel Adesanya taking on Alec Pereira. It's also, so that's for the middleweight championship. We've also got Carla Esparza defending the women's strawweight championship against Zhang Wei Li. And we've got Poirier taking on Michael Chandler. Molly McCann is on that card as well. It's a pretty stacked card. So, flip. I mean, I've got to think that Mayweather will... Mayweather's fighting on the 25th as well. I've just got a little advert here. Damn. Fight TV has got a lot of stuff coming up, you know. Have a look at this. What's this? So, Jake Paul against Anderson Silva, October 30th. Mayweather against Asakura. Floyd Mayweather versus... Asakura on September... I don't have that one down. September 25th at 4 a.m. Mayweather against Asakura. Oh my God, I need to get that in. That's a weird day, isn't it? September 25th. That's a Thursday. Okay. We can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. Let's put that one in. That is September 25th. I love this. Oh, is that right? No, that's not right. I was looking at the wrong month. September 25th is a Sunday. Oh, God. Hang on. Mayweather versus Asakura. Save that. Let's have a look. I'm still learning how to use the calendar. So it's the same night as Joyce and Parker. That's all right. That's all right. So that means that we've got Canelo this weekend, and then next weekend we've got Floyd Mayweather. So I'm definitely down for that. So we'll be looking to do that. I was going to do the Joyce versus Parker fight, but I feel like this Mayweather fight might be bigger. So yeah, I mean, look, and now now you're telling me Mayweather might step back in quite quick, like just a month and a half later. That's mental. Fun. All the WWE pay-per-views are on a Saturday for the rest of the year. UFC needs to be on a Sunday, said Rob. It sucks, doesn't it? Really sucks. It really, really sucks. I had it quite sweet, and I don't think I appreciated how good I had it. But the only thing we can say is that we made the most of it. You know, we had UFC on a Saturday and then WWE on a Sunday, and it was great and it worked, and we could do the streams, and I was happy, and I love being happy. And now what they've done is they've moved it to a Saturday, and it collides with UFC, and it collides with boxing, and now you've got big boxing fights and UFC fights and WWE pay-per-views all happening at the same time. It's a flipping nightmare. How are you not doing, Joyce Parker? Well, I was, but Mayweather's going to be a bigger draw, isn't it, than Joyce Parker? That's going to have more interest than Joyce Parker, I'd have to think. Obviously, Joyce Parker's going to mean more, but in all fairness, it only means something for whoever wins, and then they will go on to be mandatory, won't they, for, I don't know whose belts. Is it one of Fury's belts? So they will definitely get themselves into a position of then potentially going after one of Fury's titles. So, yeah, I'd love to watch it. Unless, maybe I can. I don't know if it's in England, and then we could do Joyce Parker and then do Mayweather after. Don't know. I have to look into it. Daniel said, still haven't sold Arthur Ashe out yet, so I think Bryan Mox is the bigger match to sell seats. But if you want Bryan to have obstacles, you could have MJF cash in instantly in his hometown. Well, I mean, look, all I'm going to say is this is tricky. I think it's tricky because you've really got to just decide what story you want to tell. What story do you want to tell? And then go for it. So there's 4 very different stories, 4 very different options. You've got 2 baby faces, 2 heels. You've got 2 baby faces. One has held the belt before, one hasn't. Of the 2 heels, one has held the belt before, one hasn't. So you can go either way. You can go with experience. You could go with the new champion, whether you go heel or face. So there's lots to play around with and have fun with. But yeah, I mean, it's a really good point. If you want to go for the biggest match possible, I have to think that match is probably Danielson Moxley or Jericho Moxley. I don't think Sammy is involved. If you need a massive match, I don't think you go Sammy Guevara. I think it's going to have to be. So that means Moxley goes through. So then it's going to be Moxley versus Danielson or Moxley versus Jericho. But I mean, in all fairness, we'll find out. We'll find out tonight. So far in the poll, we've had 228 votes. 53% of you have gone with Danielson. And I must say, that's pretty much the same as what we had on Twitter. Let me just have a look. 56% of you went there. This is so interesting, actually. So interesting because you lot don't know, or maybe you do know, but the result on Twitter, we've had 240 votes on Twitter, and we've had 230 votes here. On Twitter, 56% of people went with Danielson. Here, 53% of people went with Danielson. On Twitter, 30% went with Moxley. Here, 36% went with Moxley. And then on Twitter, Jericho and Sammy both got 7%. Here, Sammy 7%, Jericho 4%. So the 2 polls, really, really similar. Really similar. Not much difference between them, like a few percentage points, difference, that's all. The winner is still the winner. The second place is still the second place. The other 2 have got around 7%, 7% and 4%. So that's 2 separate polls done on 2 separate platforms that have given us largely the same result, which is that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. That's why I think when you get to around 250, just around that kind of ballpark, I think that is actually quite a healthy sample size. I know it seems like nothing. It seems very small, but I think it is actually quite a good sample size. We have found this with UFC as well, We've had polls on UFC streams that have gone up to 50,000 votes, and they don't really move or change much from when you've got 250, 300 votes. Like, it seems like once you get to a certain level, that is your sample size. So, yeah, that's really interesting. Really interesting. Joe said, Days had college football yesterday, and I two-footed a kid. You would be proud of the Brexit football. If you injured the kid in particular, I'm very proud. I just want you to know that. If you go onto a football field and you injure someone purposefully, then I would hope that the moment that happens, you think to yourself, Days would love this. Days would love this. Because that's what I look for in sport. I look for crushing disappointment, people's careers being ended early. So, well done for that. Well done. Brenton says, hi, Days. I think Mox is going to win this tournament because he's the established champion. He's a good promo this past Dynamite. And I think Danielson should only get it if he is a heel champion. Joe, shout out to you. Dark Angel said polls are never wrong. No, never. No. I mean, what else can we do? We've done 2 separate polls on 2 separate platforms. We've got the similar result. That means that is 100% what's going to happen. That's how life works. Days, I'm looking forward to watching Impact Bound for Glory in October, says Ray UK. Have fun. Enjoy it, my friend. Miss Clown said, DM tweeted you a funny Orton tweet. I make him right. What? You've DM'd me an Orton tweet. Let's have a look. How about take the poor girl to the doctor? What in the hell are you asking me for? My stepdaughter is 6 years old. Have you ever seen spider tick bite like this? Would love your feedback, Viper. How about you take the girl to a doctor? Yeah, this is weird, isn't it? That is weird. So, someone sent a picture of a spider tick bite on a what? Is 6. My daughter is 6. And he sent a picture to Randy, and Randy's gone, feedback. How about you take the poor girl to the doctor? What in the hell are you asking me for? Weird. Yeah, weird. Fans are weird. Weird. That just weirded me out. Jilly said, I 100% agree with the statement. I love heel Danielson. Michelle said, we won't see any wrestling. Where? What? I hope Chris Jericho wins because he hasn't won a championship in a while, and I think this is the perfect time to. We've got 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go, and we are building towards this week's AEW. Not many matches announced, only the 3 matches announced, but let me just have a little look, see if they've announced. Sometimes as we get closer to the show, they announce some other things. Let's see what we've got. We've got, 4 minutes ago, what's this? Last week, Death Triangle made history by winning the World Trio titles. Pac became AEW's first double champ. Now Penta and Rey Fenix aim to be double champs as they take on Swerve and Keith Lee on Dynamite tonight. So there we go. That match has just been added. A little interview with Tony Storm. An interview with Hook. The AEW replica belt is now back in stock. Here's Tony Khan. Tony says, great wrestling matches from some of the greatest wrestlers in the sport, plus the best wrestling fans live tonight on Wednesday Night Dynamite on TBS. All that great wrestling action, plus some very informative video packages. What does he mean by that? What does he mean by very informative video packages? Yeah, what's that mean? What's that mean? Might mean something, might mean nothing, but that from 2 hours ago from Tony Khan. Daniel said, I did see an idea that can't be done anymore, but it was for Darby to go all the way and win it, making a huge moment. And then MJF being the heat magnet he is ruining his moment and cashing in on him. Alex said, Tony cringe. Tony cringe. Tony cringe. Tony cringe. Na 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 na. Yeah, a little bit of Tony cringe. I'm down for that. Days, I'm not a fan of Jake Paul, but if he beats Silva, then I'll be sort of a fan, says Edwards. Edwards, hello. Lance said, why do they wait just 10 minutes for the show to announce matches? It makes no sense. Just Nick said Tony is going to announce his OnlyFans. Yeah, do you think that's the informative video package? Right now, for just $9.99, you can subscribe to Tony Khan's OnlyFans. New feet pictures every single Tuesday on Feet Tuesday. Nipple pictures on Thursday. Nipple Thursday. And bikini shots every Saturday, including special request pictures just for $9.99. They said it couldn't be done, but Tony's doing it. Subscribe to Tony Khan's OnlyFans right now. Brennan said, I understand he is one of the best promos, but do you think MJF's in-ring work is being overshadowed? I think his in-ring is on par with his promos. I don't see that. I think his promos are exceptional. I think his in-ring work is tidy. I think he knows how to engage the crowd, and he knows how to interact with the crowd and keep the crowd involved. So in regards to psychology, I think that he has got a decent psychology in the ring. It's not like he just goes in and does move. But equally, I can't say that I've seen a ton of MJF matches that have blown my mind. I think his promos are so good. If MJF's in-ring work was to be as good as his promo work, his matches would have to be consistently in around the 4-star range. I've seen a load of MJF matches that I just thought were solid, fine, did a job, and kind of passed me by. If anything, I'd say that's what I would criticize him for, is that I don't know, and maybe some of it can be his partners, his opponents, that they bring out enough emotion from the matches, enough drama. I don't know if they build quite right. It's been a while since we've seen him, to be honest. And his match against Wardlow, which I think was the last match we saw of his, was pretty much a squash. So it's hard to say because it's been so long. But I can't sit here and reel through a ton of amazing MJF matches. For me, there's work to be done there. There's work to be done. Luke said, have you got short-term memory? First segment after the suspension was MJF, then Mox. That's the feud. Mox wins. MJF turns the chip in and new MJF. So Luke thinks it's going to be Moxley. 5-minute warning, says Anna. Anna, hello. Hope you are well. Alex says, can't believe we as a community are taking shots at Tony Cringe. I wonder if he'll call us bots and moan online on the show. I don't think we're taking shots, are we? We're just having bants. I don't think we're treating him any different than we would Vince or anyone else that was cringe. So I think, if anything, he would really appreciate the fact that we're being pretty consistent. Several AEW execs are no longer suspended, says ex Mulder, who I think is the burner account from Mulder and Scully. So I believe a bit of lag. Okay, we're back. What would I consider the worst figure of all time? Well, I mean, there are some horrific Jax figures, to be honest. Some horrific Jax figures. There's a horrific Stone Cold one by Jax, but in all honesty, without like getting it and showing it and you seeing yourself, like, it's hard to do it justice. I remember distinctly a real, just awful Stone Cold one that came out. There's There were some WCW ones as well where, like, I don't know, they spat and, like, the figures were just rubbish. Jack's made some god-awful stuff. I mean, Mattel have made some bad figures as well, and obviously there's stuff on the channel. But I know a lot of people point to the very first Andre figure because it just didn't look much like him. It wasn't in any kind of scale. He was the exact same size as everyone else. But I can kind of forgive the, like, 80s figures because, you know, it's the 80s, isn't it? It's a different time, and they are amongst the first wrestling figures, so I can sort of forgive those. But I think some of the absolute garbage they were pumping out in the late 90s by Jax, I think some of that is just, you know, we should have been at a standard by that point. And you can even say with, like, Mattel as well. There's some god-awful Mattel ones, but plenty of videos on the channel covering those. There's a video on the channel that says the worst figure. And as I said, it's borderline figure, borderline doll. It's scary Hogan thing that just looks scary. And then, like, there's, like, a countdown of the worst Mattel. And I think there's even a worse figures. And so it would have that Stone Cold in it that I'm talking about. Do you agree Chris Jericho is the Silva of pro wrestling, says Luke? Do I agree that Chris Jericho is the Silva of pro wrestling? Don't think so. Don't think so. I mean, like, I feel like you need someone that was at the top and really fell off in a way. But when they were at the top, the very top, I mean, Silva was a champion and he held and has defended that championship more than anyone else. So you really need someone that dominated, really. You need someone that, I mean, this is why I like Wrestle with Andy's Undertaker. I can see that works, and also in other aspects doesn't work. But I think from the streak aspect, it really works. You know, he had the streak ended, and then there was a decline in Undertaker, and that is very much Anderson Silva. He had his run with the belt. It came to an end, and then there was a decline. So that the streak aspect of it, I can really connect with Silva. And also the fact that it was like, who can beat him? Who's going to be beating Anderson Silva? I can connect that to it as well. I don't know that Jericho really represents those things. I don't know. I struggle. I don't see that comparison. If you can explain it and explain why it works, I'd be interested to know why Jericho. It's a fair point on MJF. His matches with Punk and his match against Darby are some of my favorites. Darby and MJF was widely panned as being one of the best. Widely panned. Panned, the word that you meant pan, isn't when you pan something, don't you lay into it? Was widely panned as being one of the best AEW matches. I don't think pan's the word. How do you see Maximum Male Model, says Gordon, and the bloodline playing a big factor in the potential rivalry that my 13-year-old son and myself, Maximum Male Models with my son, bloodline at ringside for me. So Maximum Male Models and your 13-year-old son against you and the bloodline. Well, you and the bloodline are winning. I mean, it's as simple as that. I take bloodline over Maximum Male Models, and you will be pleased to know that right now, with the information I've got, I would probably take you over your 13-year-old son. So I think putting you and bloodline together makes it a no-brainer, Gordon. I've got you. I've got you back, dude. My money's on you. Right, here we go. We are going over to the show. AEW starting, and we are starting with Jonathan Moxley. Jon Moxley. Here we go then. Jon Moxley is going to be taking on Sammy Guevara. We're about to get an answer to the first part of the question as to who is going to make it through to the final. Mox, time to be a legend, says the sign in the crowd. Moxley is in the crowd. Taking a moment. He's not racing his way to the ring. The crowd is red hot tonight. The crowd looks great. Crowd look great. Someone's 13-year-old son is going to get Superman punched into next week, says Jordan. Hayden said, I'm watching AEW Dynamite on Fight. Ninja said, who agrees with Hit Row? Hit Row in AEW? You could do that. They're a little bit acclaimed, aren't they? I don't know if they would get in each other's way a little bit. Don't know. Moxley, looking out to the crowd, puts his arms in the air and the crowd cheer. Got Regal on commentary. UFC fighter released before he debuted, says Tim. Okay. Brenton said, you're right. It was the wrong word. I meant the match was regarded as one of the best matches. Brenton, shout out to you. Here is Sammy coming out. It's Jon Moxley. I love Kota, says Miss Clown. Kota loves you as well, bud. Kota loves you as well. The Spanish God. Sammy Guevara. I don't know how loud I can be with this new microphone. I know that it's a different microphone as well. Normally, I can just move around and it picks it up. Now I've got to be right in front of it. But it should sound better. But now I don't know how loud I can be. It's a nightmare. AWC Legend says, how can I watch AEW in the UK without Watch Wrestling? To be honest, I don't know. I can only tell you how I watch it, and that is through Fight TV. But you have to subscribe, and I subscribe. So it's like $4.99 or $6.99 a month, and you get the shows live. So honestly, there could be some illegal streams out there, but I have to think they probably get pulled down quite quickly. But the way I do it is with Fight TV, because we're nice and legal here on the Wrestling Days channel. Sounded a bit wrong, but you get my point. Scream and test it, says Blazed. Well, I did kind of do that a little bit earlier today, and it was all right. So I was kind of like, because it's been cutting out as well, hasn't it? When we've been getting like really loud. So there's been a few issues we've been trying to fix. So yeah, I don't want to break it. I shouted earlier as I was testing it, but I think I was kind of holding back as well, because I was like, oh, I don't want to break it. It's new and it's shiny and new. Once we've had it a little bit, I'll be chucking it around and everything. Sammy on the outside. Heather said, I had the worst day. My mom's had to have emergency surgery, but she is okay now, thank goodness. I'm sorry to hear that, Heather. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. But, well, no, I mean, glad that she's better. I'm not sorry to hear she's better. I'm sorry to hear she needed surgery. But, well, look, at least you can kind of look at it now and go, that was a bad day. File it under bad day and just move forward. At least it's not still an ongoing thing, or certainly not as bad as it was by the sounds of it. So, glad that everything is better. Sammy is in the ring. We've got a dude dressed as Where's Waldo holding up a Kingston Fears Sammy sign. And Sammy is backed into the corner by Moxley. Moxley going for a big right hand chop coming in by Sammy Guevara. Big opportunity this for Sammy. Big opportunity. Kicks coming into the midsection and Moxley goes down. Kicks coming into the side of the head by Sammy. And Sammy backing away, referee having a word. He was telling Sammy to break, and he didn't break. Moxley comes up, big clothesline. Sammy gets turned inside out. And Moxley exploding out of the corner. Crowd are up for this. Crowd are fired up, excited. Ooh, Sammy doesn't quite stick the landing on that. Moxley goes to suplex Sammy. He goes up over the top, but doesn't quite stick the landing. Chops coming in, being traded back and forth by Moxley and Sammy Guevara. Big slap coming in. Big chop. These two chopping at each other. Moxley even lies down. I must admit, I am a bit bored now. And I could be in the minority here. But I am bored of watching wrestlers, like, allow the other person to chop them. Like, I understand why you would do that if you were two big brawlers that are kind of really known for your chops, and it's like a battle of who's got the better chops. Like, I can totally get that. But Moxley against Sammy Guevara doesn't need that moment. This is not, for me, the match for that spot. But we're seeing that more and more coming into, like, wrestling. Certainly in AEW. Seeing these moments where they just stand and they're like literally inviting them. Come on, do it. Show me what you've got. Which I can understand wrestlers having. Like, I'm not saying it's like looks fake and it looks phony or anything. I can understand wrestlers having that kind of bravado. You know, come on, do it. Show me, what have you got? I feel like it gets overused. I feel like we see it a bit too often. And then it maybe just takes away from the matches where it would have a bit more impact. I think we're going picture in picture as Moxley gets thrown into the ring steps. Moxley's in the ring steps. Sammy is on the ring steps. He's got his arms in the air. His gesturing to the crowd. Coming up tonight, we've got Jungle Boy against Jay Lethal. Swerve in Our Glory against the Lucha Bros. We've got Toni Storm and Athena taking on Serena Deeb and Britt Baker. Chris Jericho against Bryan Danielson 2. That's coming up as well as shots are raining down on Moxley. Again, is jumped on top. Sammy is throwing some shots to Moxley. They're on the table. I would ask the question about count out. I would ask the question about why have these not been counted out. But in all fairness, this is not the only match that you would ask that question on. The referee is actually outside the ring. He's not counting them both out. He's actually outside the ring telling them just to get back in. The count has just been suspended by the looks of it. Sammy goes down to one knee. Moxley looks for a suplex. As Moxley gets into the ring. Brenton, shout out to you. Michael Ronquillo said, Days, you do a great job covering wrestling. That's very kind, Michael. Thank you. We try our best, mate. We try our best. There's a few things that have... I don't know. I do find there's a few little stories that break in the day, and I always find myself going, is that a video? Do I do a video? But I don't want to just flood the channel with videos. I think what I might start doing is start putting more on the Wrestling Days Clips channel, because it doesn't really matter there, does it? If I flood that channel, it doesn't really make any difference. So yeah, I could see like there being like, I'm always like, do I do it? Do I not do it? I can see myself just doing it now, putting it on that channel, and trying to, I don't know, maybe trying to cover a little bit more of the stuff that maybe just didn't feel quite worth doing a video on this channel. Sleeper hold applied. I think we are back from the commercial break, by the way. So we were at commercial break. Both guys are in the ring. And Sammy driving Moxley back into the corner. Chop coming in there by Sammy. Moxley coming into the center. He goes down. Bit of a slow pace to this one. Not a problem at all if it just builds nicely. And I'm sure they're going to give this match some time. They normally do give the first match time. Here we go. We got Sammy with Moxley on the outside of the ring. On the edge of the ring, I should say. Big clubbing blows to the back. Headbutt by Moxley. Moxley looking for... grabs the head of Sammy. Hurls him down. I thought he was going to go for like a bulldog. He doesn't really. He kind of spikes him down. So Sammy kind of flips and kind of goes head first. There's a bit of like a brain buster in a way on the edge of the ring. I didn't expect it to be as vicious as that. I was thinking it was going to be like a bulldog, but he ends up spiking him right on the edge of the ring. Moxley in the ring, and we've got Sammy Guevara on the outside. We're up to 8 as they jump into the ring. FTR against Aussie Open on October 1st, says David Paul. Roman versus Rock would be great, but how would it end? Do they take the belt off Roman and put it on Rock? I would have Roman win. I don't think Rock needs that victory. If he comes back for a one-off match, like, you get the builds, you get, obviously, the promos, like, you get all of that stuff in the builds. The match itself, I think this is Roman's time. Roman's the champion. And I don't think you wouldn't put the belt onto Rock, because why would you want to... Rock can't be any bigger than he already is. Rock is as big as he's ever going to be. So for me, I would be having Roman lose the belt to someone that can be made bigger, that can really benefit from it. Rock doesn't benefit from it. Rock's massive star, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. If he beats Roman, it's just, okay, Rock did it. It doesn't make him a bigger star. So I 100%, 100% Roman beats Rock. And to be perfectly truthful, I think they would do that as well. I think they would do that. I think Rock would come back and put Roman over. Kick by Sammy in the corner. Moxley goes into the corner. Shoulder tackle there by Sammy. Top rope enziguri to the back of the head. Sammy, top rope. Oh, looking for a springboard. Cutter. That's nice. Sammy's trunks are kind of encroaching up his backside. He's showing... I'm seeing more of Sammy tonight than I really want it. I'm seeing more of Sammy than I think even Ty Mello has seen. Look at that. The half moon at the moment. Up on the shoulders. He's fixed it. He's fixed it, guys. Moxley on the shoulders of Sammy. That's nice. Is that a snare trap? Got a headlock applied. I think it was a bit of a snare trap just. Elbows coming into the side of the head by Moxley. Moxley's in control. We're nearly 15 minutes into this show. Here we go. Moxley going against the rope. Sammy. Spanish fly. Spanish fly by Sammy. 2. Oh, kick out by Moxley. Kick out. Kick out. We better hear, yo, listen. But the rap better not be interrupted, said Daniel. Days, have you seen the Roman podcast? I haven't. No, I haven't. He was on Logan's, wasn't he? No. Been a busy boy today. This is awesome chant coming from the crowds. Sammy going over to the corner. Climbing up. Moxley pops up. Jumps up. Clubbing blow to the back of Sammy. He's looking for a... Wow, he went for a German suplex off the middle rope. Sammy over-rotated, but still he ends up down. I don't quite get what he did there. I don't know if he tried to over-rotate to land on his feet again and didn't stick the landing, but here's Anna Jay and Ty Mello making their way down. So Anna Jay is distracting Ty Mello on the outside. She throws her jacket into the ring. The referee chucked the jacket out the ring. Low blow by Ty. That was pretty rubbish low blow. She kicked him in the ass, really. It seemed like she kicked him in the ass. Roll up by Sammy. 2. And kick out. Kick out by Moxley. How does Moxley train for that? Regal does go to answer how you train for that. How do you train your testicles experience pain in that situation. Right. Sammy goes for a big move and he misses. And a pin here by Moxley. Kick out by Sammy. You mentioned Sammy as not being an option. No, I think he is an option. I think he is an option. I just think that if you want the biggest match possible, I don't think he's an option then. I think if you want to sell tickets, then I think you probably do put Moxley into the final. But I think he is an option. It just depends what story you want to tell, to be honest. I mean, if you want to pull the trigger on Sammy and have Sammy like win the title for the first time and have like probably Ty would have to help him win it. I don't know that he's getting past Moxley and Danielson or Jericho. Probably be Danielson, wouldn't it? I can't see them doing Sammy Jericho in the final. Oh, it might not be an issue because Moxley drives Sammy down and Sammy is out. Sammy is out. Jon Moxley. So there we go. Sammy, 6% of you thought it would be Sammy. Well, you were wrong. Jericho, 5%. Moxley, 37%. And Danielson, 51%. So, in all fairness, you lot did predict that it would be a Danielson-Moxley final. Half of that has come true. And we're going to find out the other half later tonight. So, it is a win for Jon Moxley. I still wanted Sammy, said Ernesto. It's gone, Ernesto. It's gone. Let it go. Let it go. It's not happening, buds. William Regal said, don't think I'm not thinking about what happens if Danielson wins, because then obviously it's going to be Blackpool Combat Club, Blackpool Combat Club. Jon Moxley, 3-time world champion. Bryan Danielson, 6-time world champion. Chris Jericho, 7-time world champione. We're down to 3. It's going to be one of these 3 guys. It's Moxley. Yeah, it's fired up. Fired up. That was to Renee Young, that was. You better have the fridge filled by the time I get home. Brent said, what would you do to change Sammy's presentation? I think he'd be higher on the card as a heel if he didn't join another group. Same gimmick with Ty, just no group. I don't know, to be honest, because how much is he used in Jericho Appreciation Society? I don't know how much like we see him with those guys. You can absolutely take him out of that group, yeah, that would be fine, and have him just have him win matches. It doesn't even matter how, even if it's Ty that's helping him win, as long as he's getting a streak together, and then that gives him something to gloat about. You can get somewhere with him. I mean, he's good in ring. He's good in ring. I don't know. I mean, I can't say his size is necessarily an issue. He's not like drastically smaller than other people. So I think he's good in ring competitor. His promos are good, fine. I haven't got an issue with his promos. I think he's pretty solid all round. Still quite young as well. I think him and Ty are really annoying. I think she is really annoying. So those two being together, I think it's a really good package. So yeah, I'm down with that. Send them, put them out on their own. Have Ty helping him win matches. And just give him a streak, give him a good winning streak, and have him talk about the title. Have him say that he's tired of waiting. It's time. Everything's fallen into place in his life except for one thing, and that is the AEW Championship. That is what he's coming after, and just make his intentions very clear. Keep building him up, and you could absolutely get somewhere with him. I don't know if you're going to be able to get him to a level of Bryan Danielson or anything like that, because of course there's a lot of history there. I mean, Bryan Danielson had to start somewhere. CM Punk had to start somewhere. It feels like Sammy hasn't started, but I mean, he hasn't had one world title reign yet. compared to, Danielson that's had 6 or Jericho that's had 7. So, at this stage, there's always going to be main events that will feel bigger because we haven't put the work into Sammy yet. So, yeah, you're going to have to... It's going to be a gamble, and it's going to be a little bit of a gamble. Can he carry the weight of the company? How is he going to be as a champion? All that kind of stuff. But, I mean, look, I would do it at some point. I would pull the trigger at some point. He is definitely worth gambling on. Definitely. This chance increased for an AEW WWE event? No. Well, I can't say it hasn't increased. I would say it's gone from 100% definitely not happening to 99.99999 recurring, definitely not happening. So I am willing to say there's been a little bit of movement, yes. But it's still, pretty much impossible. Right, here is MJF. Keep your fat mouth shut, yeah. Talking to this community. He's talking to you lot. Which is a bit rude now that I think about it, but... MJF making his way out. Keep your fat mouths shut. They're not listening. They're not listening. Shut your mouth. He said he hasn't slept all week. He hasn't slept all week. I saw the look in your eyes. You're a man that has got no fear. He's talking to Jon Moxley. I'm not the same kid I was the first time we crossed paths. I'm not playing a character. You are? Wow, that's a nice line. Walking around all tough. You're a joke. He calls Moxley a joke. I read your book. He says, I read your book and I like the bit where you talk about your childhood. Uneducated, white trash scumbag. JF going off on the crowd and Moxley. You got bullied, didn't you, John? That's why these morons chant your name every week. You built a great character. So he's making out that Jon Moxley is nothing but a fake persona. I hope it is. Imagine backstage and he's like, oh, Tony, was that all right? I really did try to channel my inner rebellious streak there, but I feel like at one point I did maybe go a little too far, but... Anyway, Tony, if you need me, I'll be in the library. That'd be good. It's all a facade. It's going off, isn't he? MJF. Talking about how... talking about his alcohol addiction. You kicked the habit. You got sober. Slayed your demons, but here's the problem. My brain is far more dangerous than your disease. MJF loves tacos, said Erasure Mind. That's breaking news. Cliff said, MJF and Christian are the best heels in the business on the mic. Jon Moxley and CZW See if we can fix this lag. Scissor Me Daddy, said Leon. Wrestler Andy said, Moxley winning confirmed. Shouldn't he wait until he wins the tournament, says Zoom Station. I'm a demon that you can't slay. Okay, a young group of gentlemen helped me get my chip. Okay, this is interesting. Allow me to introduce my best friend, a man that I've known since I was 19. Stokely Hathaway. I didn't know he knew Stokely Hathaway when he was 19. So Stokely Hathaway is being presented out. We did question where these people were last week, but actually Stokely's coming out and he's bringing everyone out with him. This, whatever this is. Well, we're going to find out. Whatever this faction is called, we're about to find out. Stokely is making his way down, and we've got this new faction that is going to Pinnacle 2.0. Fair few people involved in this. Is W. Morrissey the new Wardlow? So Stokely said, I flew from Florida, NXT, to New York to see my best friend, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Sat down and prayed. We are MJF's support system. MSS. When MJF doesn't need us, we'll go our separate ways. So this isn't MJF's group. What is he? He's not an assistant. He's not a publicist. I'm a friend. You lot wish you had a friend like me. NXT might be beating AEW soon, said Erasure Minds. WWE has got a working relationship with AEW, says John. I don't think they do, to be honest. Days, he called the faction The Firm, said Blazed. Oh, I didn't hear that. The Firm. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. What? I don't know what we're doing here. Let's talk about what everyone wants to know. Here's Morrissey. Oh my God, he hugs Morrissey in a Tony Khan awkward way. I appreciate you and I love you. Lee Moriarty. Go on, hug him. Hug him. I just want him to hug him all. I think it's time for this guy to become a star. And bring some honor back to the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. Oh, he didn't hug him? Why didn't he Morrissey, but he didn't hug Lee Moriarty? I thought he was going to do a Tony Khan awkward hug to everyone. Gun Club. You might not take them seriously, but trust us, you will. Of course, Ethan Page. He didn't hug them either. I can't believe this. The armpit tattoo, just gross looking, says Corvids. Smurfy Toon said he left them hanging. Brent said, I think it's time for this segment to end. I was initially intrigued, but it lost me. Stick Wrestler Creator said, where is Luchasaurus? Well, he's joined up with Christian again, hasn't he? So as soon as we see Christian, I'm sure we'll see Luchasaurus. You want to win the All-Atlantic Championship? And Ethan's like, yeah. The Firm, yep. Run with us or run from us? Someone in the chat said, or just ignore us. Okay, so the Firm. What are we thinking about the Firm? Yeah, do you like the Firm? How do you feel about the Firm? That was a Firm promo, said Smurfy Toons. Why are there so many groups in AEW, says Tay? Well, I think it's because I can kind of understand it. There's the Elites, Jericho had a group, Dark Order were already there. If you come in now, you probably do look at the landscape and think, if I'm going to get anywhere here, I need to get myself in a group. Like, if I stand, otherwise I'm going to get eaten alive here. Because just being on my own, do you know what I mean? I need some backup. I need some support. So I can kind of understand how, if you've got a couple of big, powerful groups, people feel like they need to, you know, join a group, create a group to try and compete. Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy against Jay Lethal coming up later. The Blood Firm. I'm old enough to remember the Firm with Jimmy Page and Paul Rogers, says Michael. Stick Wrestler Creator said, imagine a Judgment Day Demon Finn. That would be a dream come true. It worked in New Japan. Everyone's in a faction except Kota Ibushi, says Heather. Firm sells wrestling vacuums, says William. David said, was Grisham and the band members of the 80s band The Firm noticed about the net? I don't think they were. I don't think they were informed at all. That is a real oversight. Here is Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy. Have we seen him solo? Well, we've seen him solo, but first match since being betrayed by Luchasaurus. Okay. So Jay Lethal has accepted the challenge. Apparently Jungle Boy put a open challenge out earlier. It was accepted by Jay Lethal. Sideburns are clean. Daniel said, did you see Christian is out for 6 to 8 months? I think that's why Jungle Boy got squashed. Brent said, I think they came dressed up in suits and kind of hurt business-ish. It would have been better. Jury is out since they are so new. MJF giving them the rub helps from a presentation perspective. I agree with that. I agree with the suits. I agree with that. If you call yourself like The Firm, you probably do need to be wearing something quite sharp. I agree the presentation wasn't right. Can you hug the chat like Khan? Not really. I can't. This arm won't go in front of the chat, so no. If I can caress your backside, if that's any good. If that works for you, I don't know. I know it works for you, William. Have you heard of the British female indie wrestler Maria May? A lot of people on Twitter want Triple H to sign her. Nope. Can't say I have. Where does she compete? Luke said, remember I said Mox wins, MJF turns the chip in. The first segment after the suspension, I told you. Yes. I mean, it might also not go that way because MJF is going to clearly be working a feud with Moxley, but doesn't mean that he's going to have the belt, does it? I mean, it could be that we get Danielson, Moxley, Danielson wins the belt, and then Moxley moves on to a feud with MJF. So I completely agree that Moxley and MJF are clearly on a collision course. Still don't know that that means that the title's going to be involved. Could do. Could be. Might not be. We'll find out. I think that Moxley stands a very good chance in the tournament. And it seems like you lot do as well, having him second favourite. Mitchell said, if you're going to call yourself The Firm, your leader better be Jake from State Farm, and they need to sell insurance in the ring. James said, Renee Young tweeted, Ty, keep your cheap shoes off my husband. That's fun. Rusty Landy said, give the chat a pat like Aaliyah gives Raquel. Okay, little cheeky pat. Little roll up by Jungle Boy. We need a vacuum salesman in AEW, says William. Crowd chants, you suck. You suck. Well, in all fairness, his products suck. If you sell vacuums, in all fairness, I mean, people that sell vacuums probably suck as well when you're having a milkshake. You know what I mean? So, yeah. We'll leave that there. Velveteen Dream is coming out. DREAM is. We've got Jungle Boy going up top. Jay Lethal going over. Days, Mayweather is 25th, which is the day before my birthday, and Joyce Parker is 24th. Mayweather will be 25th, but I'll bet you anything it's like early hours, is it, of the 25th? It's like 1, 2, 3 in the morning. So is it a case that, like, Joyce is in the day on Saturday and Mayweather is in the early hours? Was hoping that Renee was going to show up and put Ty out of commission, says John. Cliff said, Jungle Boy needs the spirit of Dylan McKay from 90210 to get over. I sold Kirby vacuums, but I'm awesome like The Miz. I believe that. Camilio, shout out to you. Jungle Boy gets driven into the ring. We're 40 minutes into this show. First match was all right. I like matches that matter, and that obviously did, and it was pretty good. Then we go to a pretty good MJF promo. I agree the Firm stuff was not the strongest and could have been better. And now here we are with Jungle Boy against Jay Lethal. So not a bad 40 minutes, a third of the way through the show. And I would say so far, so good. Knee in the back here by Jay Lethal. Crowd a bit quiet. Cliff said Renee is way cooler than Moxley. Jungle Boy in the middle. And nice little snap suplex there by Jay Lethal. Cornelius said, if you haven't figured out Jake Paul's fights are fixed, then something is seriously wrong with you. I don't know that they are fixed, to be honest, Birds. I don't know that Tyron Woodley would agree to be knocked out the way he was. He was an absolute laughing stock. And I don't know that one's fixed. I don't know that you would fix that. And I don't know that you would fix Ben Askren getting sparked out in the first round either. So I have to disagree. I don't believe they are. Richard said, I think Triple H should sign ICW wrestler Grado. Edward said, hear me out. I'll have Danielson win the tournament. And when he goes to leave the ring as champion, MJF comes down, cashes in the chip, and wins the belts. I would have Danielson win the tournament. And when he goes to leave the ring, MJF comes down and cashes in the chip. Do you know what? I'm going to be perfectly truthful. I haven't got a flipping clue how the chip works. I haven't got a clue how the chip works. I don't know that you can do that. Maybe you can. Maybe you can say, I want a match and I want it now. And it works exactly as the Money in the Bank. But I honestly don't know off the top of my head. People are talking about 2K23. What the hell? It seems like 2K22 only just came out. Right, we are seeing the MVP arena. And very quiet. Crowd are non-existent here. They're not just quiet. They are absolute silence. Into the corner. Clothesline by Jungle Boy. Tokyo Game Show. There we go. That's why Kenny's in Tokyo. He's going to be a part of the Tokyo Game Show, showing off the video game. That'll be why he's there. Video game. How did everyone like NXT get into the vote thing? Who we want to win, etc. I think it's a good idea. Be great if they honored it. Crowd just heard about the Queen. They're paying their respects. Wow, have you seen the queues today? Absolutely stunning. Actually, I don't know what the queue is right now, but earlier when I checked, you can go and walk past the coffin in London, and earlier it was 2.5 miles. I don't know what the world record is for a queue. I tried to find out, and I can't find it. I don't know what the world record is. I've got to think this is... Maybe not. Maybe it's not. Maybe there's one that's just, maybe there's been a queue that has, like people do things just to break records. Maybe there's been a queue like that. But I've got to think a queue that's 2.5 miles long. I'd have to think that's in the conversation. Against the ropes goes Lethal. Jungle Boy with a massive clothesline. Queen Q. You put that Queen Q tracker. You put that into... Queen Q tracker, is that what I wanted? BBC, here it is. The queue now is nearly 3 miles long. It's 1:45 in the morning. 1:45 in the morning, and the queue is currently nearly 3 miles long. You can see where the queue is in London. If I wanted now to go to London and join, that is insane. A 3 mile queue. Kick out by Jungle Boy. Worlds Across America. Does that count as a queue? Don't think so, because you're not waiting for anything, are you? You're not really working your way towards something. It's a gesture, really, I suppose. Don't think that counts as a queue. This crowd is cringe. Jumps back, Jungle Boy grabs a hold. Nearly 3 mile queue. 3 mile queue. We should have that live in the corner, shouldn't we? Queue watch. Backbreaker. Oh, lovely. And plants Jungle Boy face first. James said, us British are world class at queuing. Nice suicide dive there by Jay Lethal. That was done really well, actually. Jay Lethal up top. Comes crashing down. Elbow drop. 1, 2. Kick out by Jungle Boy. Exposing said, I was 4 foot from the Queen's coffin, so I do understand people wanting to pay respect. Yeah, that's cool. To be honest, I would go. I saw 5 million watch the Queen's flight. Yes. It's the most tracked flight ever, isn't it? 5 million were watching the graphic of the plane and where it was. Yeah. They said at one point they thought the Wex, I don't know how long it would take to wait in a 3-mile queue, but they were saying that at its peak it'll be about a 30-hour wait. That's what they're anticipating. 30 hours in a queue. More than a day of your life was given over to queuing. Forearm strikes by... horrible lag. Horrible lag. Why is the lag so freaking bad? I keep dropping the quality of the stream. Hopefully that's a bit better. Hollywood Guy said, Solo Sikoa, now champion, makes the bloodline all elite. But Roman needs to lose a belt, says Hollywood Guy. Roman does need to lose a belt, and they seem to be struggling figuring out how to do it. I feel like it's the conversation we have more than any other at the moment, is how are we going to get a belt off of Roman? Right, we got Hook. Training with, is that Bray Wyatt? Is Action Bronson actually in a match now? Next week, be ready. I never heard this announcement. Was this announced on Rampage or something? Action Bronson and Hook tag teaming together. Luigi guy, the Luigi guy with the pizza, just got kicked in the face by Ethan Page. Damn, they went and got the Luigi guy. Got the pizza guy. I'm a Luigi. And he wrestles by spinning like his pizza dough. Ah, they just kicked him right in the face. Luigi Primo. I'm a Luigi. Yeah, they just kicked him in the face. Oh. That's a shame. I wonder if he did something like a dart match or something. Poor Mario. Pizza guy. Yeah. I tell you what, there was a nice little pop there. As people like, I wanted to see the pizza dude. A couple of observations that might be small but noteworthy. Moxley didn't bleed, says Brenton. No afterbirths so far in matches. Interesting. That is true, actually. I'm very surprised there was no Luchasaurus coming down after the Jungle Boy thing. Very surprised. So, yeah. I think I can understand there not being anything after the championship one. But I am surprised there wasn't one after that. So, yeah, good observations. Pizza Guy versus security guard Hank. I'm here for it, says Ryan. Kyle said Jim Cornette read an article about Vince Russo pitching ideas, and he came up with a stable called the Elite, and the stable had Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Sonny, and others, but that's hilarious, says Kyle. Luigi is my Mario Kart choice, says Cliff. Ethan Page is a great heel, says John. We want Mario, said Lone Star Friend. We want Miro. I thought he said Mario. We want Mario. Let's go. Why did they do my boy Luigi Primo like that, says N. So, I mean, in all fairness, he only did it for the dough. They offered him some dough, and he was like, yeah, I'll come in and get kicked in the face. As long as you pay me enough dough. In all fairness, that joke might not work because in America, you might not call money dough, but it is referred to as, dough. How much dough you got on you? How much dough you got? That is something we say. I say that to people. Have you got much dough on you? How much dough have you got on there? I mean, that sounds weird now I think about it. Certainly if you say that to Luigi, he'll be like, I got lots of dough. Plenty of dough. We pizzas for everybody. Days is biased towards Austin. Well, you did not see last night's stream then. No one is saying that right now. It's dough in America as well. Oh, that's good. Okay. Well, that joke was hilarious then. I was worried that joke might not land, but I think it did. Cornette is a mark for himself, says John. Heather said, yes, back in the day, money was called dough, but that's old school. Is it? Yeah, it probably is, actually. The kids probably aren't calling it that. That's true. We've got Darby Allin. Darby Allin was on a little tricycle. Oh, that's a nice trick. Oh, and he landed it as well. That's pretty cool. Nitro Circus. Well done, Darby Allin. That does look kind of fun. The first one was a fail, but... it didn't land. It crashed and burnt. The first one did. He stuck the second one. It is a little bit like a clown on a little tricycle. Thank goodness I needed some Darby Allin shenanigans, says Heather. Corner is a mark for the truth minus Asuka and Japanese wrestlers, says Cliff. That will be a great match, says Ryan. Here is Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs. Coming off a win against Ricky Starks. We're getting to the halfway point. Halfway points. Our house. If Powerhouse Hobbs and Danhausen were in a tag team, they'd be Powerhausen. He'd be Powerhausen Hobbs. Matt DiMartino. Why is Matt DiMartino not in a tag team with Luigi Primo? This is my friend DiMartino. Matt DiMartino? Yes. This is my wife. I don't know why I went Borat then, full on Borat. Against the ropes goes DiMartino. Powerhouse. Spinebuster. Oh, it's the match is over. The match has finished, everybody. Thank you for coming, Powerhouse Hobbs. I was talking about your dough joke, not Darby. Oh, what? The dough joke crashed and burnt. Oh. I thought he was talking about Darby because he did as well on his first go. What you're saying is my dough joke crashed and burnt just as bad as Darby did on his first attempt. Sounds about right. Oh, Powerhouse Hobbs has got a microphone. What's he going to say? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. He's going to say something. Have I ever heard him speak before? I don't know. We want Ricky Chan. Could you imagine if he finally talks and he's like, hello, everybody. My name is Powerhouse Hobbs? How is he bleeding? He's got blood in his mouth. How's he bleeding? From a squash match? It only took 4 minutes and 35 seconds. How has he bust his lip? Chapter is closed. There's a new chapter in the Book of Hobbs. Hobbs is bleeding. The jobber made him bleed. Starts tonight. Here's Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks in the crowd. Ricky Starks coming down the stand. Look at that. There's a guy in the crowd. He's like, I can't believe it. Was that Action Bronson? Bray Wyatt? Bray Bronson. Action Wyatt. Starks gets past the... Oh, that was good. The security are like this, and he just... What he does... Oh, it's so clever. What he does is he runs around them. So the security are at ringside. They're like, no. And he's like, quite sly. And then he goes... And quickly runs. And he manages to get around security. Greatest security ever. Ricky Starks gets into the ring, but Hobbs has managed to jump out. Posed by Ricky Starks. Rocky Starks. Lol to that security. They did a great job. Great. They did God's work. Tony from AEW needs to quit playing his games with wrestlers. Let them do their jobs, says Allison. Irish Rebel. Hello, mate. Hope you're well. Smurfitoon said that security would not make it in the NFL. No. If Bronson has been secretly training and pulls a 450, I will change my stance, says Cliff. It's time. It's halftime, says Tim. Yeah, let's do it. Hang on. I was just thinking that I don't know if I've got the song. Halftime scores, everybody. It's the halftime scores. I really want to know your halftime scores. Put it in the chat. Halftime scores, everybody. It's the halftime scores. Are you happy? It's the halftime scores. Are you happy or you sad? Halftime scores, everybody. It's the halftime scores. I should get that recorded. If I got it recorded, I could just press play then. Just sit here like this. There we go. So we've got Lucha I don't know why I didn't just put Lucha Brothers, to be honest. I have no idea why I didn't do that. Lol. Penta and Phoenix versus Swerve in Our Glory. We've got... did you hear Taz say after Ricky hit Hobbs that Hobbs busted his lip open, did he? Good save. No one would have noticed. Denise said 10. Matt said 7.5. 1 Minute Wrestler says 7. Just Nick says 7. Greg says 8. Michael says 6. Mitchell says 7. Serious Gaming with a 6. Lone Star Friend with a 6. CSW Wrestling with a 6. Hayden with a 7. Burn It Down said below 6. I would say 5. That is below 6. 904 Pinball Zine said 6.66. Smurfy Toon said 6 Luigi's Pizzas out of 10. Lucha Bros, my guys, says Heather. Can't Stop, Won't Stop, says 4. Exposing said 2.5. CJ Smith says 6. Tahil said 7.5. Gwen said 3.95. Bill said someone showed up at the NXT taping for next week's show. Well, I would hope so. Imagine if no one did. What would you film? Let Him In says 6. Craig said 6.7. Zachary says 6. John said 7.14. Zoom Station said 6.5. Jeremy says 7. Ho. Please don't call me that. Tarek, I respond to many things, but calling me Ho, I'm going to forgive you, Tarek, because I really appreciate people that have got the same first name twice. So I am going to forgive you this time. Days is acceptable. Hey Bud will do. But I don't respond very well to Ho. But I've let you off, Tarek. Ho, do you think we'll face the Usos next? Well, biatch. I think it will be the Street Profits. Heather with a 7. Irish Rebel with a 7 out of 6. And I don't even know how that works. Bonkers said 6.2. Legend Killer says 7. List of Jericho said, what have I missed? Bray Wyatt. Camilio said 6. John says 6. Hollywood Guy says 5.4. They've said this show should be next level. Tony has 100 talents and can't capitalize on ratings versus Triple H. He should bring in Bickoff. Brenton said 7.25. Exposing says, ho. It's okay. I have a 2x4. Very good. Ho. Very good. Mitchell said, would you accept Daisy Poo? Is that a new cologne? That sounds like a new aftershave. A new fragrance. I mean, it sounds like an awful one, but new from Chanel. Daisy Poo. I can definitely see that. Would I accept it? Yes. Right, we are underway with this tag team championship match, and we are also in the final hour. 56 minutes left to go. In comes Keith Lee. Keith Lee is in. The big man is in with Phoenix. Grabbed Phoenix by the hand. Chop coming in there by Phoenix. Another chop coming in. Keith Lee with a forearm strike. Phoenix goes down. We're going to miss. Another chop coming in. Double chop by Keith Lee, and Phoenix just goes back, goes down. Penta on the outside. As we go to picture in picture. Back elbows coming in there by Phoenix. He makes the tag to Penta. Still to come tonight. We've obviously, this match I don't think will take that long, because I think they might want about half an hour for Jericho Danielson. And we've still got the women's tag match coming up. So plenty to look forward to here on AEW Dynamite this week, guys. Groundhog Day here with these four, says Brian. Bijan for men, says John. Keith Lee is out of shape, says Junior. The Fiend is hashtag All Elite, says Serious Gaming. Right, we've got Phoenix on the outside. Here's Penta going over to Keith Lee. Kick coming in there by Penta. Yeah. Keith Lee goes back into the corner. At the moment, we've just got commentators laughing. Big shots coming in. I couldn't hear what they were laughing about, but they were laughing about something. When you do get hit low like that, it takes your breath away. Hit low. Anything that's even remotely like hit row now, in my head, automatically I hear that. Hit low. Big shots coming in as Keith Lee goes against the ropes. Oh, yes. Smurfy Tunes, yes. Hit low. Hit low, hit low. If you know, then you know. Keith Lee is in shape. It's called a circle, said Exposing. Dynamite Security was watching the Diamondbacks security video from August. Right, we got Swerve in there. He's going for the cover on Phoenix. Phoenix kicks out. Phoenix down on the mat. Someone just put lol Bearcat. I completely forgot they called Keith Lee Bearcat. Bearcat Keith Lee. I completely forgot that was a thing. That's crazy, isn't it? Bearcat Keith Lee. What was your halftime score? I would probably be about a 6-7-5 or a 7. I thought the first match was good. I enjoyed it. I thought MJF's promo was good. At that point, I'd probably be around an 8. But I think for me, the Firm stuff was... just didn't find it that interesting. I thought the presentation was wrong. I agree with Brenton. I think the presentation was wrong. They don't feel like a credible faction to me. So that kind of brings it down. Jungle Boys match was, just the crowd are dead as well. I do think the crowds always kind of affect things. So, yeah, it probably just brings it down to like a 6, 7, 5, 7. But honestly, not a bad show at all. Not a bad show at all. And we've still got some really good stuff coming up. So I think that when all things are done, this will be quite a strong episode of Dynamite. But I do think the crowd are letting this show down. There's a lot. I mean, right now, the crowd are just sat there and it is silence. And it was complete silence during Jungle Boy and Jay Lethal. Penta gets thrown into the ring. It's, I would say, a bigger problem when you're doing matches that are like spot, because if the spots aren't really getting reactions, then it really looks weird. Have they just broken into a "This is awesome" chant? Into a "This is awesome" chant. This crowd that has made no noise has just broke into a "This is awesome" chant. Perhaps they've got a different way of enjoying matches. Perhaps they subscribe to the Japanese mentality of watching wrestling, just being quite quiet and respectful. Boom, Keith Lee planting it down. 2 matches, and suddenly "This is awesome." They're chanting "This is awful." Yeah, weird crowds. Weird crowds. Phoenix up on the shoulders of Keith Lee. Coming in there by Penta. They shouldn't be chanting "This is awesome." They should be chanting "I'm enjoying this." I'm enjoying this. I'm just not showing it. Over. Boom. Keith Lee gets hit with a destroyer. Keith Lee was just destroyed. That's woke the crowds up. But doesn't get the finish. A destroyer on Keith Lee. I feel like if you're going to do a move like that, it probably should be the finish. What do you do now? You've hit a destroyer on Keith Lee. It looks amazing. The crowd were on their feet. That's where we should have ended it. Keith Lee plants Penta 1, 2, 3, and Keith Lee gets the win. So there we go. Swerve in at Glory. Yeah, that was a finish. It shouldn't have let it land, said Alex. That's true. Oh, hello, someone's coming down. Is it the Acclaimed? Is it the Acclaimed? The Acclaimed! Yes! Cut my music. What's happening? Yo. Listen! If you interrupt my rap again, I'll beat your ass. Who's he nut hugging? So, roll your ass to New York next week. I think I wanted a rap. Where's the rap? Why didn't we get a rap? Where's the rap? Everyone's like, where's the rap? Where's the rhyme? Is that me, Daddy? Yes. Ah, there's no rap again? We got a shortage of raps or something. What's going on? The Acclaimed has got to win the belts, considering even Jim said they should have been an audible call at All Out. I think Tony Khan has to pull the trigger, says Brenton. Is that me, Daddy? Brilliant. Yeah, they've massively grown. I mean, that match, so good. They're legit one of my favorite parts of this show, you know. I mean, which I don't think is that big of a surprise. Here's Pac. We are the AEW Trios champions. Put some respect on the name. Did he just get hit by Orange Cassidy? Yeah? Why did Orange Cassidy hit him? Orange Cassidy said double champion, not for long. Why did he turn heel? What's going on? Why is he just hit him out of nowhere? That's not a very Orange Cassidy thing to do, is it? Oh, that punch. Yeah, the punch didn't look great. Why did Orange Cassidy do it? What's happening? Has Pac jumped Orange Cassidy at some point, and now Orange Cassidy's like getting revenge, maybe? Answers on a postcard. Pac attacked him last time, said Corvids. Orange packed a punch. Mr. Unfamiliar said, what is this booking? When did Pac jump Orange? Was it on Dynamite? I just don't remember this. It's because he wants a shot, says Adam. Lovely bloke, says John. Crowds used to chant for Jake's DDT. Now we get a Canadian destroyer as a transition. Yeah. Serge said, everyone knew Swerve in Our Glory was not losing the belts. They have to lose next week to the Acclaimed. That's why the crowd was not into it. Still a shame for the show, isn't it, really? I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it's still a shame for the show. And also, the crowd were not into Jungle Boy and Jay Lethal, and you could say it's a bit of a boring match. No one cared. But this crowd's. I mean, I understand you've got to give them something to get into. They were all right for the first match, but I don't know. It's just noticeable when they're missing. It's noticeable. Corvid said, wouldn't mind seeing Cassidy win the championship for a few weeks until Ethan Page takes it. Ash Chief said, OC going for the Atlantic Championship. I love that title. I wish they would do more with it. Zoom Station said, freshly punched. Freshly punched. Corvid said it might have been a Rampage promo. Joe said that was heelish from Orange. If it is a Rampage promo, that's the problem with doing something like that, because like unless you watch all the shows, you're going to miss out. Like to a lot of people that just watch Dynamite, that just looks like a real weird borderline heel turn from Orange Cassidy. But if it does connect to some potentially from Rampage, I mean, it could have been something from last week's Dynamite, and I just don't remember it. But that is a little problem, just a little problem. Black screen. Here we go. We're going back to Dynamite. Here is Britt Baker. I've had my apple a day to keep the DMD away. That's fun. Jamie walking away. So it seems like Jamie and Britt have had pretty big fallout. Serena Deeb making her way down. Why can't Reba Rebel be her partner? I don't understand. Why is she not standing in for Jamie Hayter? Serena Deeb and Britt Baker versus Toni Storm and Athena. Dentistry is a respected profession. It's all well and good making fun of dentists until you actually need one. DMJ. That's Britt Baker. The Acclaimed has got to win the belts. Yes, I agree. Serge said, my two favorite female wrestlers, DMD and Deeb. J14 said DMD. Just Nick said, simp for Serena. Corvid said, I would love to see Deeb take the title off Toni Storm at some point. Brian said, Albany is my local. It's definitely a dead, quiet crowd. When they're uninterested, I feel awkward from when I was there. It's, yeah, I mean, you know, you get these areas that are a little more reserved, a little more muted. We've seen quieter crowds before. We will see quieter crowds in the future. Here is Athena. I don't know that those wings quite do what she wants them to do. She spun her rings, whatever they are. Days, I would say Britt Baker Charlotte would be the best AEW WWE match. Lord Rupert said, lol, those are wings. Those are wings. It is like something that they would use in a movie or something, isn't it? Like, but they, I'm sure, would put feathers on and actually build them up a little bit. Britt is so jealous of Toni, says Jilly. Toni needs to bring in a women's tag team title belt, in my opinion, but people will say, not another belt. Try it, David. Why don't you put that idea in the chat and just say, guys, I think Toni needs to bring in a women's tag team belt, and we'll just see what the reaction is. People might be like, oh, that's David, that's a really great idea. Just, David, try it out. Oh, put it in the chat. Try it out. Just put it in the chat. Like, I think they should bring in women's tag belts in AEW. And we'll see. Because we don't know, do we? People might be like, oh my God, that's brilliant. That's so good. That is so good. So, yeah, give it a go. Give it a go, David. We'll see. We'll find out. We'll do an experiment. I could type it, but it's your idea, David. It's your idea. Chop's coming in. They need women's belts. See, look, Smurfy's like, they need women's tag belts. They need women's tag belts. I think there's a groundswell. Here we go. Look, yes, David's. David said, would people like an AEW women's tag team belt? There we go, guys. David asking, would you like AEW women's tag team belt? Jamie says yes. Daniel says yes. This isn't going the way I expected. But we've actually got 2 yeses so far. David is a genius. Hollywood guy says, oh, hell no. Guys, the joke, I mean, there was no way of me letting you in on the joke really without like telling David at the same time. But the joke was he was going to put it in. And then what you was meant to do is you was meant to go, oh, no, they're like Jeremy gets it. No, there's too many belts. Are you crazy, David? That was what you was meant to do, right? Honestly, it's been set up perfectly. All you had to do was just knock it out the park. What I wasn't expecting was you lot to turn around and go, yeah, it's a pretty good idea, actually. Yeah, I'm down for that. That's not what we were doing. That's not what we were doing. You've ruined this. You've ruined this. Apart from Jeremy that got it right. Shakim says, no. Mr. Unfamiliar says, hell no. We need women's trio championship. Randy said they've got 59 belts already. Mitchell said, I actually wouldn't mind women's tag. Mitchell! Okay, what's happened now is this has turned into an actual conversation. This has turned into an actual debate. Ruined this channel, David. You've ruined this channel. Chop coming in by Serena. Corvid said they really don't have too many belts. Can't believe that. Can't believe it. It was so easy. It was so simple what you had to do. You're meant to all pile in on David now. Yeah, this was your opportunity to bully David live on the internet. David, what you thinking? Oh, you're crazy, man. All this kind of stuff. Sometimes I feel really let down by you guys. Athena gets thrown over to the ropes, but she collapses down. And she can't even make it to the rope. She's in quite a degree of discomfort. There's no pleasing some people, says James. Master Chief said, women's tag belts are needed. Oh, my God. Boomer said, this chat had one job. They had one job. I know. Guys, it's a Wednesday night. Can we not even just have a bit of fun where we turn on each other? This is absolutely unbelievable. Nice suplex by Britt Baker. And in comes Serena Deeb. We've got about 35 minutes left to go. Kyle says, yeah, no more belts. Give championship. Give Mindy's cupcakes instead. Oh, that'd be nice. Every time you win a tournament, you get a Mindy's cupcake. I don't know what she puts in those cupcakes, but it really brings out the worst in people. I don't know that those Mindy's cupcakes got the best advertisement, because the only time I've ever heard about them is when CM Punk seemingly lost his mind. So I don't know what's in them cupcakes, but it doesn't do good things to people. I wonder if this whole thing, this whole backstage altercation, CM Punk coming out with those comments, I wonder if all of it is to blame on Mindy's cupcakes. I mean, legally, I don't think I'm allowed to say that, but I have said it, and I do think that it is all down to Mindy's cupcakes. That's that the backstage altercation, the suspensions. I can only imagine that Ace Steel had a couple, which turned him into Jaws. The comments came out. Maybe there's some kind of truth serum that's in there. I don't know. I nearly said tooth serum, which would have been very stupid. But yeah, not the best advert for Mindy's. Don't get me wrong, though. I'd give it a go. Seems like fun, doesn't it? Serena Deeb comes in. Athena comes in as well. Mindy's Cupcakes sponsored Ace Steele's tasty biting habits. We got Serena Deeb in there with Athena. Against the ropes goes Athena. Duck underneath. I don't even know what that was. She went onto the ropes, spun around, and did nothing. She did nothing. She went against the ropes and just spun around. She gets caught by Serena Deeb. But Athena rolls. Right now we got Deeb on her back. 1, 2. I don't know why Athena just picked her up. Why did Athena just pick her up? It was 1, 2, and then Athena picked her up to prevent the 3 counts. She could have just got a 3. Don't know what's going on. Serena Deeb, single leg Boston on Tony. Mitchell, shout out to you. Have you gone and looked at some of the Mindy's Cupcake reviews since the CM Punk outburst? Someone wrote they couldn't afford one because they share an account with their mom and they're too pricey. No, I haven't seen this. How do you look at the reviews for Mindy's Cupcakes? Mindy's... Ah, Mitchell. You legends. Mindy's Cupcakes, Chicago. Reviews. Oh, people are actually recommending them here. There's 1,499 comments. Newest comments. 2 days ago, there was a roach in the bakery. Whenever I have to beat up the Young Bucks, I prepare some Mindy's Bakeries. I give it 5 stars, but rest assured, I'm not Dave Meltzer. I ordered one of their pastries, and it gave me enough energy to fight the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega in the locker room. Great place for grumpy old men who prefer sugar to other substances. Serena Deeb has got the pin and the win. Serena Deeb pins Tony Storm. I'm hurt. Can I just say this is a 5-star review? I'm hurt. I'm old. I'm tired. And I work with effing children. But Mindy's Bakery brightens my day every day. It's so good. I threw a chair. I threw a chair at one of my co-workers. Try this place. You won't be disappointed. Oh my God, yes. Mitchell, these are so good. These are so good. Look in my eyes. What do you see? Muffins from Mindy's Bakery. Da, 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 da. Look in my eyes. What can you see? Muffins from Mindy's Bakery. Da, 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 da. Oh my God, so good. Jamie Hayter's come down. Jamie Hayter is hitting Tony with a chair. Oh, yeah, this is good. She's still saying a few things with Britt. May want to open the Sunday after All Out. I heard you're closed Mondays and Tuesdays. This place is great. 5 stars. Yes, this place is great, but let me tell you all about Scott Colton. God, they're brilliant. Mitchell, they are brilliant. Mindy's special, cakes of personality. The cakes of personality. Someone needs to do a rip of that. If you was to dress up as CM Punk, record yourself singing with changed lyrics, do cakes of personality. So like Zoom Station, yeah, that'd be good. You just missed a burial. Listen, there's only one burial I care about, and that's happening Monday. Ryan said that is a great find on the reviews. Yeah, Mitchell, thanks for recommending that. I think people will enjoy that. If you search for Mindy's Bakery Chicago, and then click on the reviews, go to newest. The ones we just read are there, and you can just go down. They're pretty funny, man. Pretty funny. Did you know Yelp even shut down comments because of the all-out stuff? No, I haven't heard about any of this. I haven't heard about any of this at all. I wonder how they feel about it. I mean, in all fairness, people that are leaving comments are also leaving 5-star reviews. So I don't think they'll be too down about it. I think they'd be a lot more down about it if it was 1-star reviews. Ethan Page taking on Danhausen. Penelope Ford taking on Willow Nightingale. These all taking place on Rampage. Matt Hardy taking on Darby Allin. They've slowed this down a lot, haven't they? Jon Moxley is going to take on the winner of Jericho Danielson. That match coming up next. Our bakers save dogs whilst get our hair pulled and bit by angry old men. Oh, what's this? Tony Storm, Serena Deeb, Athena, and Britt Baker, AEW Interim Women's Championship. Like, Fatal 4-Way? Why has she got to defend it in a Fatal 4-Way? That's a bit harsh, isn't it? Bronson and Hook taking on Daddy Magic and Cool Hand. So that's going to be on the Grand Slam Rampage on September 23rd. And up next, Chris Jericho, Danielson. They just show Moxley Jericho next week. They just showed Moxley Jericho next week. Did they? We've got, well, coming up next, we've got Danielson. Is Jericho. They didn't, said Just Nick. I didn't remember seeing it. Matt Maynard is funny. You no longer get a letter from the Queen when you turn 100. You get a text from Prince Andrew when you turn 15, said Exposing. Smurfy Toon said, look in my eyes. What do you see? Muffins from Mindy's Bakery. I know you're hungry. Hungry for sweets. Pastries so good you can fight the elite. Oh, muffins from Mindy's Bakery. Very good. Very good. Undercover manager said, Tony. Such a terrible booker. He hot shots way too often. I'm actually getting sick of watching the shows. Will Solo Sikoa be champion for a long time? I don't believe so. Just because he's gone to the main roster and this is a NXT mid-card title, it feels very Dolph Ziggler. You know, like when Dolph had the belt, he didn't hold it for all that long. But, yeah, I feel like it'll be a relatively short reign. Cliff said, watching AEW is like living with your drunk step-parents for the summer sometimes. Okay. I've got a Mandela effect. I watched Moxley Jericho after the replace it was Danielson. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? You saw Danielson Jericho graphic and thought it was Moxley Jericho. Is that what you're saying? Okay. It's all right. We're going to get through this. We've got 25 minutes and what should actually be a really good match. Danielson against Jericho 2. This is going to be for the opportunity to go through to the final and face Jon Moxley. What happened to Dolph and AJ Styles? I think they got married. Ego can get a win over Danhausen, said Bonkers. People need to start typing English, says James. It would help a little. I don't know. Is there like an autocorrect, or perhaps there isn't, and that's the problem, or perhaps there is, and that's the problem. Here we go. Main event time at the MVP Arena in Albany, New York. There is the AEW World Championship. I'm now wondering that it showed an image of Jericho versus Moxley or Danielson, depending on who wins. Your Dynamite main event is Chris Jericho. When will we see Target Invasion? Yes, we do need all the Target managers to unite. That would be good if all the Target managers bought tickets to the front row of CM Punk's return match. Just started booing him. Chris Jericho making his way down to the ring. Smile on his face. He has a look at the championship. We're seeing the crowd singing Judas. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. We're just zooming into people that are singing the song. Little smile on Jericho's face. Has he got any other hits at all? Has he got any other songs? You know, is it time to mix it up? It'd be great. Okay, here comes Danielson. I'm watching Dynamite. Legend Killer, shout out to you. Zoom Station said no one knows the rest of the song. I'm really proud to say I don't even know that bit of the song. I always turn it down when it comes on. Here is Danielson. Do the Target invasion at the Target Center in Minneapolis. Yes. Yes. Now you're talking. It's what that venue was built for. Right, here's Danielson. He comes down. He has a look at the championship as well. And looks over at Jericho. 20 minutes. I Still Burn is the latest single, says Adam. Okay, here we go. Jericho in the corner. Danielson over in the other corner. Aubrey is the ref for this one. CM Punk owns the Bucks. There's a sign in the front row that said CM Punk owns the Bucks. Kicks coming in by Danielson. And again, throwing in these kicks as Jericho slumps down. Gets backed away. Jericho into the corner. Danielson charging over. Drop kick there by Danielson. Jericho drives him into the corner. Chop comes in there by Danielson. Jericho fires back. These two exchanging chops, but not in a way like, you know, do it. Kicks. Chops in the corner. Jericho going into the corner. Danielson charging over. Drop kick. As Jericho goes down. Who out of these two is higher up on your all-time list? I feel like it's going to be a cop-out answer, but I think if your list is sports entertainment, it would be Jericho. I think if you're more into your wrestling and going to include Ring of Honor and AEW, then it would be Bryan Daniel. So it really depends how you want to look at it. For me personally, I think Jericho's higher. I think Jericho's higher because he was in WCW. He was involved in like the Attitude Era. He has won like world championships and been around main events. I want to say more than Daniel Bryan. Like Daniel Bryan had a couple of runs. Yeah, I think he had 3 runs with the belt, didn't he? I mean, he won the world title at SummerSlam and then got immediately cashed in on. Then he won at WrestleMania. And then, of course, he had the eco-friendly run. So he has been in main events and he has. I've got to think Jericho's had more. So I feel like Jericho has been... I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like I want to say he's been at more WrestleManias. He's had more bigger matches on that kind of a stage. I feel I want to say he made a bigger impact, but it could be the same impact. It's just Jericho's was over a long period of time, whereas Danielson's was over a much shorter period of time and was a lot more intense. You know, the support for Danielson and Daniel Bryan was just somewhat on a level we just haven't seen. But it's not the longest of runs. So, yeah, I feel like Jericho. But if you want to include Ring of Honor and the Indies, then, you know, you could go Daniel Bryan. And you could say that Daniel Bryan is the better wrestler. You could go with that. Jericho, 6-time champ. Danielson is 4-time champ. Oh, 4-time champ. Oh, world heavyweight. Kick coming in by Danielson. I tagged you in some on Twitter of the Yelp message board. It's great. Great. Kicks coming in by Danielson. Kick. German. Unusual activity. This business recently received increased public attention, which often means people come to this page to post their views on news. While we don't take a stand one way or another when it comes to this incident, we've temporarily disabled the posting of content to this page as we investigate whether the content you see here reflects actual consumer experiences rather than recent events. Please note we apply the same policy regardless of the business, regardless of the topic. If you're here to leave a review based on first-hand experience, please check back later. Interesting. I have followed you back. Right, on the outside of the ring. We've got Danielson up against the ropes. I want to see Jericho bring back a sidekick like Ralphus in WCW, says Night Riser. Tarek, shout out to you. Even though you called me a hoe earlier. I'm still a little muted. Slap here by Jericho. Slap coming back by Danielson. Chop coming in by Danielson. Love Danielson's eco-friendly WWE title. That was something a bit different, wasn't it? Chop coming in again there by Danielson. Jericho chops back. Oh, okay, we have got to the point where they're just allowing each other to do the chops now. Jericho screams and chops Danielson. Danielson chops away at Jericho, drives him back into the corner. Reversal. I feel like these allowing your opponent to chop you is just like the 2022 version of the suicide dive. Both men collide into each other. Would you say the Super Diva made a bigger impact than both of them? Yes. Quincy Elliott, the Super Diva. I'm into that guy. He is a funky Mabel, which is a positive. And he is someone that I think could bring a bit of fun to NXT or whatever version of NXT we're going to be seeing. I mean, that was quite the bombshell at the end, wasn't it? I mean, I will admit at first, my initial reaction when I saw that new logo was that I thought it was a bit of a, we are NXT. Here's the current logo. Here's a little nod to the past. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's cool. Is that just a little, you know, like how when they do a retro Raw, they have the old block logo and it's just a little nod to the past. Like, my first thought was, is it that? Is that what it is? But I mean, once I saw the social media posts and it said things like loading and it had quite clearly NXT 2.0 graphic changing to the new graphic, you go, okay, there's more to this. Oh. So, yeah, very exciting. I don't know what we're going to see next week. Well, actually, I do. Well, I don't, but I do because it was a tape show. They've taped a few episodes, haven't they? But I haven't seen the results. So I don't. We're going to see more NXT 2.0 next week. I don't know exactly what. I don't know if any of the dirt sheets have got any news. Kick there by Jericho. Against the ropes goes Jericho. Iron Salt. Midnight Special. Love your enthusiasm. Have I missed a comment from Midnight Special? I don't think anyone took a dump in the cupcakes. Okay. Please use dump because I cannot get your comment through, says William. Guys, please, if you are talking about defecating into cupcakes, please use, and this is the first thing we teach new members that join us. If you are going to talk about defecating, please use the word dump. It's very, very important. It will not go through YouTube's filters otherwise. So It's very hard to get dumps through filters. Very hard. But you can do it. It is achievable. Right, getting to the final 10 minutes. Waiting for NXT releases. NXT 3.0. I am a bigger fan of NXT 2.0.1. I'm a bigger fan of that. NXT 2.0.1. It's an update. Not a major update. It's just a slight update. We've changed the logo. I don't know if we're going to change the venue. I don't think we're going to change the roster. So NXT 2.01. Days, would you like to see more camera angles in wrestling where the cameraman pans around the building whilst going around the wrestling star? HBK WrestleMania 24 entrance. I don't mind more camera angles as long as it brings something to it. I can't say that it limits my enjoyment of matches or anything, but yeah, I mean, we've seen some nice well, they don't use it that often, but on Raw, there's a nice camera shot where they do that kind of panning of the crowd when you've got someone on the top turnbuckle. I've seen them do that for the first few weeks on Raw under Triple H. It's not a camera angle they use that often, and it's not a camera angle I saw that much before. But they did it a few times on Raw, and it looked nice. It looked nice. So yeah, those kind of sweeping shots can be really cool. Yeah, I don't mind. I am so, you know me, guys. I'm a super positive person. I'm super open to everything. So yeah, let's do it. If it doesn't work, we learn from it and we move forwards. Right now, we got Danielson in control. Legend Killer says, "Come on, Bryan Danielson." Zoom Station said, "This is better than their all-out match." Dylan said, "Tony Khan should have done a tournament for the AEW title for people that have never won the belts." What's your thoughts on that? I think it's difficult because the title really should represent the best that you've got. Like, your champion is meant to be your best. So to alienate potentially your best people because they've won the belt before, what I would be interested in doing is crowning the champ, then doing a tournament to find a number one contender with the stipulation that these are people that have never had a shot at the belt before. I'd be down for that. Giving like, you know, someone an opportunity that's never had an opportunity before or has never held the belt before. But I think to do a tournament only including people that have never held the belt, you're losing a lot of good people. I understand why you would want to do that. I get it. Because you want someone fresh and different rather than, oh, please not Moxley again, or, you know. Knee strike by Danielson. Knee strike by Danielson, and Jericho goes down. I would do it, but just to find a number one contender. Fight forever chant. Jericho is actually bruising now. Fight forever. Jericho on the outside, slapping himself. Danielson throws in a chop. Chop comes back. Chop comes back. They're just allowing each other to chop each other again. But women division doesn't have the depth for that. Tony should have put the strap on CM Diva. Shouldn't have put the strap on CM Diva. CM Diva. Danielson goes to the outside and does... he's hurt his foot. Oh, diddums. He's not wearing traditional wrestling boots, and he could have broke his... could have broke his ankle there. He's gone out over the top rope. He's selling his ankle here. Jericho in the ring. So Jericho on the outside going after Danielson. He grabs a hold of the ankle. And Regal said that's like a red rag to a bull. Slamming his foot, slamming his ankle into the floor. Stomping away here, Jericho. Regal said, I don't like it, but I don't blame Chris Jericho. Slamming Danielson's leg against the ring post. Having his leg again and wrapping it around the ring post. Put the AEW Championship on heel Ace Steel. Alex said, are you super open to going to Tony Khan's house for Halloween? I wonder if he'll give you a booklet on the show's ratings, like last year's joke. I would, just because I think we all want to experience a Tony Khan hug. If AEW do like an Access type show where, like, you know, they show off like some of the old ring gears and, you know, I don't know, perhaps they got the Cracker Barrel from like one of their first shows and, like, you know, little props they've used. Maybe they've got the shark cage that you can actually escape out of without even opening the door. They've, like, you know, they've got, they could show those things off. That'd be great if there was a booth where you could just get like hugs from Tony. Get your picture taken with Tony. I mean, people would pay good money for that. Straight up, I would pay $100 for that. $100 to go to AEW Access and have Tony cling on to me like he does those pictures with the wrestlers. And I'm standing there like that whilst Tony hugs the hell out of me. I would 100%, I would buy that. So that'd be one of your most treasured, prized wrestling possessions, surely. You don't even need to be an AEW fan for that. He could make a killing. He should wrap up this AEW stuff. Just do that. Danielson hops forward. His ankle is gone. Jericho is trying to turn Danielson over into a Boston Crab. Boston Crab by Jericho. Tony has got all of that beautiful bean footage from Ring of Honor and has so far done nothing with it, says John. Nice. Phil is a super diva. His UFC run was a blast. Tony Khan versus Joe Gacy in a hug-off. Dream match. Dream match. Oh, look at that. Single leg Boston. And it's deep as well. It's deep. Taz says it's almost like a calf slicer as well. He's pulling back on the calf and pulling back on the leg. That looks moody, man. That's nice. That's nice. Crowd applauds him. Days is the number one diva. Nothing is as cool as Ric Flair's robe. I'd sooner have a picture of Tony hugging me than a Ric Flair robe. Stupid Ric Flair robe. How am I involved in the Ric Flair robe? I'm in the picture. But that's not my robe. That's Ric Flair's robe. I could wear it and woo around the house. That would be fun. I suppose I could do that. Danielson trying to... looks like a figure 4 is being attempted. Unless Jericho's going to do a figure 8. That would be fun. He went for a figure 4. It took him about 2 years to get it on. He didn't get it. Roll up by Danielson. And kick out by Jericho. Where is JR? Don't know. He's not on the show. Dragon Screw. Dragon Screw by Jericho. Looking for that figure 4 again. Going for the figure 4. Figure 4 applied. Figure 4 applied by Jericho. Jericho has got the figure 4 on. Danielson trying to get out of this. Woo! We were just talking about Ric Flair. What do you score AEW Dynamite? Because we've got to be getting towards the end. Unless there's an overrun. These two exchanging blows. Got 2 minutes. 2 minutes, lads. 2 minutes. Transition. Danielson has got crossface applied. Label lock. The label lock is locked in. There we go. It's in, and it's in good as well. Jericho teasing that he's going to tap. Teasing that he's going to tap. Reaching over for the ropes. Is this going to be the end? Is this going to be what does it? That's a tight grip. Jericho, he's going to tap. He's teasing, he's going to tap. And he taps. He taps. He taps. So our final is Danielson against Moxley. Would you pay £100 for a hug and a picture with Tony Khan, or just $100? I don't know how much difference there is. I think there's £100, like $120. No. Yeah. I'd pay $100. Would I pay $120 if that's what it is? I don't know what the exchange rate is at the moment. If it's $120, that's not really bad, is it? $20 extra. Yeah, fine. I'll do that. So I think that translates to about £100. Is Jon Moxley. Just think about, like, you could put that on your Instagram, on your Twitter. You could have it as your profile picture. You could do a lot with that picture. I feel like, for me especially, I would get £100 worth out of that picture. Defo. If Tony Khan is watching, let's arrange it. I will pay £100. Not even dollars, pounds. Although you might have to come here because I ain't paying for flights. Forget that. Right, we've got Moxley and Danielson in the ring. Danielson at Moxley for the AEW Championship. £100, $100 currently. Yeah, the pound's not doing great at the moment, is it? Shake. Nice sign of respect. And that's the end. That's the end. That is the end. Right, guys, I need to shoot off quite quickly, actually. Because I have got some things I need to do tonight. So get your thoughts in. Fire them in. We'll stick around for a few minutes. Stick around for a few minutes, but we can't stick around till 1:15 as normal. I thought the show was all right. I don't know why that main event didn't quite grab me. I mean, I was watching it, and it was happening. But it didn't quite grab me, and I don't know that it quite grabbed the crowd. This crowd was strange, though. They didn't really need much to break out into "This is awesome" chants. So perhaps they were loving it. I don't know. CM Punk owns the Bucks. Mox has already been champ, said DDFF. Jay said, I've got to head out for the night as well. Hayden said the show has finished. I didn't watch the show. How boring was it? It was all right. It was all right. I didn't feel bored, really, at any point. I don't think I felt bored. It was just, I think it's the crowd. I think on paper, like it looks like it's been booked all right. I mean, 2 of the matches were semi-finals. That's opened the show and closed the show. And then, MJF promo in the middle. Women's tag match, which has led to a fatal 4-way. So, I mean, yeah, it was all right. I just think the crowd just didn't add to this show at all. If anything, they took away. Are we doing a UFC stream this weekend? We're doing Canelo, but we will try to do UFC at the same time, yes. William said, I enjoyed the stream as always. Dylan said, I enjoyed the stream. Appreciate it. We've had 141 votes. Keep getting your votes in. It does depend on the crowd. It did let them down, said Mike. £1 is $1.15, so it'd be $115 for a picture with Tony Khan. Okay. Well, I had budgeted for $120, so that is within my budget, so that is fine. I'll let him know I will do it. I thought the main event was epic. It sucked me in. Perhaps it was the vape, says Kyle. MJF promo I thought was weird, said Master Chief. 7 said Dylan. Get your scores in. What do you think? Get your score. This is your chance to share your thoughts. As soon as you say I knew it would suck. As soon as you say I think it was all right, you knew it sucked. As soon as you say I think it was all right, you knew it sucked. What do you mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Hayden says 7. William said 7.5. Your dong is fighting. Isn't this the biggest stream of the year? Yeah, well, we're doing Canelo, but we will, of course, be keeping an eye on UFC as well. So we're going to try and do both. We're going to try and do both. 6.5, it was all right. Not great. Worth a little look. I feel like I'm about a 6.5 as well, yeah. I feel like that's very much my attitude. Definitely worth watching because it's got big ramifications for the future. But equally, if you'd missed it and you just caught up with the results, I think you'd be all right. 5.5, 4.5, 6.5. We need an all-Pacific Women's Trios Championship. Yes. John said 7.41. Second hour didn't boost the score much out of 10. I liked the main event and the tag match, said Zoom Station. Letterman said 6.5. Shaquem says 6. John said 7.41. Second hour didn't boost the overall score. William said, please don't attack others, even as the stream ends. Guys, don't attack each other because the stream is close to ending. Right, 8 to 10 got 28%. 7 to 775, 39%. 6 to 675, 17%, and 575 or below, 16%. So nearly 40% of people go in 7 to 775. And then the second most was 8 to 10 with 28%. Disc Mania said, I give it about a 4.5. I feel like if I didn't watch, I just wouldn't have missed anything. John said 7.41. Shaquem with a 6. Let him in with 6.5. Leon with 6.9. Smurfy said, I give it 10 just for Days' singing. I think that's fair. Legend Killer with a 7. British Soundboard Prank said, I'm not impressed the Zone are now charging for good fights after already having to pay for a subscription. And they were all about not having to do that. They were like anti-pay-per-view. Like their model was subscribe and we'll just get enough subscribers to cover the fights. And now all of a sudden it's like you've got to pay for them as well. So I agree, it sucks. The Bucks fear CM Punk. Right, let's end our poll. I don't think that poll's going to change anymore. And there we go, 39%, 7 to 775, 28%, 8 to 10, 16%, 6 to 675, 15%, 575 or below. Right, we are done. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you for joining us as always. I hope you had fun or got out of the show whatever you wanted to get out of the show. We will be back. I've got to do like all the research tomorrow. So, of course, we will be back on Friday for SmackDown. So, back on Friday. I am going to aim to do a members stream tomorrow for members of the channel. So, we will look to do that. We will look to do SmackDown on Friday. And, of course, then Canelo and Triple G and UFC on Saturday. Awesome. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.